After hearing Dai Dai's words, Nico Robin was silent again. Such spoilers would make her lose a little motivation to find this piece of historical text. However, even if it wasn't information that was blank for 100 years, she still had to confirm it herself. It's just how do I avoid Crocodile's attention now and go into the royal tomb alone to search for the historical text. Now she and Crocodile have a semi-subordinate cooperative relationship. Sand Crocodile has never trusted her and has always regarded her as a tool. She was even secretly monitored by the Sand Crocodile. Previously, she wanted to rely on the power of the Sand Crocodile to find the historical text, so she didn't pay attention to these surveillances. And as a person with the flower fruit ability, she was originally a master of reconnaissance and counter-reconnaissance, and she didn't take Sand Crocodile's surveillance seriously. It's just that now she is going to break away from Crocodile's control, so she needs to prepare a little more plan. If Dai Dai, the new king, really unseated Crocodile, she would have to prepare a way out. After finishing the phone call with Dai Dai, Nico Robin did not immediately report to Crocodile about the two teams Mr. 3 and Mr. 5. She would wait a few days until the Big Daddy pirates arrived in Alabasta waters, and then try to stimulate the Sand Crocodile. Let's see if he will go to trouble with the Big Daddy pirates for his subordinates. And here at Little Garden. After Dai Dai ended the call, he began to prepare to take action personally to completely exhaust the physical strength of the two giants, making it easier for Lafitte and Zhangao to hypnosis them. Lafitte and Poison Q even prepared some fine wine mixed with a special truth-telling potion. A two-pronged approach must make these two giants spit out Elbaf's martial arts. A barrier giant more than 20 meters suddenly appeared, and Daiduo stood on the forehead of the Susanoo giant. Dory, Brogy, let me fight with you. Dai Dai shouted and joined the battlefield. The other crew members had already finished fighting and also withdrew from the battlefield. Even Zoro and Badgers took a breather and temporarily took a rest. These two upright guys actually competed with these two giants in front of each other. This consumes too much. In the face of racial superiority, they need to continue to work 100 times harder. Moreover, Blue Ogre Dory and Red Ogre Brogy were originally the best among the Elbaf giants. Now it is normal that they cannot beat them. Now these two giants haven't even used their strongest combined technique, Hakoku. Clang. With a loud noise, Dory's long sword struggled to block the Susanoo giant's barrier sword. Seeing the cracks on the long sword, Dory felt even more distressed. Demon fruit power? And it can be developed to this extent. Kid, are you really a newcomer? Dory was suppressed by the barrier Susanoo Titan, and with a slightly reddened face, he shouted loudly. This is not like a rookie pirate at all. This level is enough to enter the new world. My bounty is the same as yours, it's also 100 million Baileys. But the bounty now is not as valuable as your previous era. Dai Dai swung Dory away to block the rushing Brogy. The barrier sword suddenly made a gap in his giant axe, which made Brogy's beard furious. It turns out he's not new anymore. Brogy F*K him. Dory also knew that they had no weapon advantage, and immediately began to join forces to attack Dai Dai. With their tacit understanding, their combat power immediately rose to a level, and Dai Dai was dazzled by the attack. If there were other giants, they would have been quickly killed by the two giant pirate captains. However, the Day barrier Susanoo was too hard. Even if their long swords and giant axes struck it, not only did it not cause damage, but their weapons collapsed again. This made Dory and Brogy feel that the fight was not worthwhile and enjoyable. Dory, Brogy, use your special trick Hakoku. If you can break my defense, I will help you build a new alloy weapon for free. Seeing that these two were timid and did not want to destroy their weapons, Dai Dai directly asked them to use their strongest moves. He wanted to see how much stronger Hakoku was than the fist of the king, and whether he could break his barrier. Are you serious? Little devil. Dory and Brogy, this human actually wanted to try their most powerful combined technique, which was a powerful move that could destroy even a small island. One move can kill the island swallowing goldfish in seconds. I want to try. Dai Dai said seriously, and then barrier Susanoo's sword immediately transformed into a giant barrier shield, looking at the two giants confidently. Then don't blame us if you die. Dory and Brogy saw that Dai Dai was so confident, and they didn't want these humans to look down on Elbaf's unique skills. Today, they wanted to let this arrogant brat experience the strongest martial arts in the giant kingdom. The two giants began to accumulate power, and the crew members of the Big Daddy pirates consciously stayed away from this seemingly powerful move. Hakoku. X2. After a short period of energy accumulation, Dory and Brogy roared in unison, and a huge spiral sword energy rushed towards Dai Duo's Susanoo Titan. Along the way, an exaggerated semicircular deep mark was plowed on the ground, and the sword energy hit the Susanoo giant's giant shield with a powerful airflow along the way. After the dazzling white light erupted, a huge explosion roar came out, and a huge mushroom cloud of dust appeared where Dai stood. The crew members of the Big Daddy Pirates looked in the direction of the captain with some worry, especially women like Dezea, Nami, and Queen Sugar, who were even more nervous. The smoke slowly cleared, and their captain did not disappoint them, still standing intact. Dory and Brogy also looked at this barrier giant in disbelief, and the long swords and giant axes in their hands could not withstand the power of Hakoku and collapsed. Their weapons and shields were gone. Because they didn't break Dai's giant shield, they couldn't get the alloy weapons Dai promised. Phew. It is indeed the strongest defense. Dai once again had a clear understanding of the defensive power of his barrier. He estimated that even the combined technique of the four emperors and Kaido of the beasts, Hai would not be able to break through his barrier. His barrier is so invincible. However, you still have to be wary of some space-based devil fruit abilities. Human, you are strong. Dory and Brogy recognized Dai's strength. He was definitely the strongest rookie pirate they had encountered in the past few years. Gulu, after accepting the wheel battle and using the extremely expensive trick Hakoku, Dory and Brogy's stomachs growled. Humans, do you want to have a party together? Do you have any wine on board? Dory and Brogy, two straightforward giants, wanted to eat when they were hungry, and never thought about what other ideas Dai and the others had. Of course. Dai also showed a smile. Today, the tasks of training troops and consuming these two giants have been completed, and he has also recruited a few crew members, which makes him very satisfied. Hearing that the two giants wanted to drink, Lafitte and Poison Q both showed a joking smile. It seems that things will go smoothly today. This captain is indeed a man with a strong destiny. The prey of badgers and Edrago could be used as food for the banquet. Chef Carmen had already started cutting up the dinosaurs for cooking with the help of some crew members. And Lafitte moved barrels of fine wine on the boat, which made Dory and Brogy very excited and greedy. They have been fighting on this island for so many years, and it has been a long time since they drank wine from outside. Dai did not interfere with Lafitte and Poison Q's operations and allowed them to perform freely. The banquet was in full swing, with all kinds of wine and food available. Amid the heroic laughter of the two giants, time passed quickly, but then it became strangely quiet again. In the end, Dai did not choose to kill the two giant pirate captains, but he also got what he wanted. Before the two giants woke up, the Big Daddy Pirates left some food and wine before leaving this ancient island. When I went back, I hunted a lot of ancient giant beasts to feed Lily Carnation, and also captured some dinosaurs to raise. The Galosiadi sets sail again. On the side port of the island ship, there is an additional Mr. 3 personal pirate ship. At this time, these four former Baroque working group cadres learned about the generosity of the Big Daddy Pirates. They all own an island ship, which is countless times more expensive than the rich people of Baroque works. Miss Golden Week Mariano was assigned to a studio, and Miss Valentine Michita was assigned to a dessert restaurant under the command of Chef Carmen. This gave them a little more sense of belonging to this terrifying pirate group, and the captains seemed to understand them very well. Mr. 5 Mr. Point 5 joined Sonic Eldrago and Tornado Elric's long-range gunner unit. Mr. 3 Mr. Point 3 was included in the think tank of Beiji Crow and Lafitte. Their Baroque codename has also been cancelled by Dai Dui. From now on, I will temporarily call them Mariano the Painter, Michita the Umbrella, Mr. Bomb 5, and Mr. 3 Candle. As for what nickname they can create in the future, it's up to Marine to decide. Under Dai's order, the Big Daddy Pirates headed straight for the Alabasta waters. Hearing Dai say that he was going to collide with the 7 warlords of the sea, every crew member began to sharpen their swords. Especially these two guys, Otonokoshi Van Oka and Shinigami Poison Q. One is cleaning his few sea stone bullets, and the other is debugging invisible poisons that kill people. Several dinosaurs have been poisoned to death by his experiments. Even Dai felt a little apprehensive when he saw it. Pirate hunter Zoro was exposed to armament hockey in the theory of Zongong realm early because of Dai. Now he has successfully broken through to this realm through crazy training and battles. And because he often cuts down Dai's barrier, Zoro's goal is set higher. It is estimated that cutting down in Mr. 1 now will not have much problem. Dai was studying the Elbaf martial arts recorded by Lafitte through the hypnosis technique, but without enough strength, he would not be able to use the giant moves of Hikoku and Waiguo. However, Aunt Charlotte Linlin and Kaido of the Beasts can both learn giant martial arts, which shows that these Elbaf martial arts still have powerful advantages worthy of recognition by these two four emperors. In barrier Susanoo form, it should be able to exert greater power. Dai could already imagine that when he and Uchiha Madara activated Susanoo's sword energy, which was as strong as splitting two mountains, it might be possible to destroy a small island like a ghost island with one blow. Then it won't be easy to kill Naval Headquarters Marineford when the time comes. Naval Headquarters seems to be only over 200 meters high, not much higher than San Juan Wolf, which has expanded to 180 meters. I don't know how many meters San Juan Wolf's Paramecia expanded fruit can expand to at most. The complete body of Uchiha Madara, Susanoo, is over 200 meters tall, and the combined giant of Bullet, the descendant of the devil, is even more than 1,000 meters tall. It would be very scary if one day Dai's barrier fruit could reach this level. Who can defeat the giant with invincible defense? While practicing, Dai also took the opportunity to drink water with Nico Robin and asked her to find a way to stimulate the sand crocodile. If crocodile cannot be deceived out of Alabasta, then Dai plans to slowly move closer to Alabasta while growing. And Nico Robin has already reported the news that Mr. 3 and Mr. 5 were captured by the Big Daddy pirates, and even conveyed Dai's provocation to the president of Baroque Works to Sand Crocodile. Finally, the news of Dai's recent arrival in Alabasta waters was also reported to Sand Crocodile. But Crocodile did not give Nico Robin an accurate answer right away, but Nico Robin could feel the anger of the 7 warlords of the sea, and the gloomy murderous look was all over his face. After receiving this reply, Dai chose to continue his voyage. He was going to visit the islands near Alabasta to see if the sand crocodile would take the bait. However, just as the Gulosiadi had sailed through the waters of Drum Island, on its way to Alabasta, a sudden super extreme storm forced the Big Daddy pirates to temporarily deviate from their route and enter a new sea area under the emergency command of the navigator Nami. On the second day, when Dai saw a large sea cloud hanging from the sky, he thought for a moment and immediately asked the Manatee Moo to pull the dreadnought battleship Saber, rushed into the sea cloud, and forcibly landed on this isolated rare beast island. In less than half an hour of fierce fighting, Dai successfully killed the old and weak beast King Qilin Lion on the island. The other crew members also captured a large number of rare beasts and raised them on the island ship. Dai let Yukushi Naken and Poison Q extract the essence of the golden horn of this magical beast, the Kirin Lion, and combined it with various medicinal materials to enhance Dai's physical fitness. Dai didn't want to become a monster, but he needed to make his body stronger, so he didn't eat the golden horn directly. On the fourth day, when passing an island group on the return route, Lafitte flew over and found out that it was an archipelago called Aska Island. Hearing this name, Dai once again led the crew to land on the island. After a fierce battle, he grabbed a demon sword, the 7-star sword, from the hands of Sokka at the Marine Dojo, and successfully rescued Zoro's senior brother. In the next few days, Dai took the Qilin Lion potion developed by Naken and Dukyu while subduing this weird demon sword. Dai just fell in love with the 7-star sword's ability to control people, but its hardness is really hard to praise. It can't even compare with a fast knife. In the process of Dai conquering this demon sword, the evil nature of the 7-star demon sword has been stimulating the murderous intention in Dai's heart. In order to resist the erosion of the 7-star sword, Dai's will has been tempered a lot. Finally, Dai discovered that his haki had actually been enhanced by one level. Murderous aura, will, and courage will improve haki's quality, while physical strength determines haki's endurance. Daiduo held the slender 7-star sword in his hand, with a cold and determined expression on his face. He knew that even if the 7-star demonic sword was broken into pieces, it could still be attached to the host in the form of 7-star runes, exerting its evil nature and powerful sword energy. It just so happens that I don't need to hold a sword now. After Dai forcibly subdued the 7-star demonic sword, under the shocked eyes of the crew, he actually used his barrier hand to crush the 7-star demonic sword alive. Then a strange and eerie power emerged from the fragment of the 7-star demonic sword. Under the horrifying eyes of all the crew members, it attached itself to Dai's right arm and turned into a 7-star tattoo. At this time, Dai's eyes had a hint of red light. He walked to the bow of the ship and waved his finger lightly. A strange green sword energy appeared, directly cutting through the sea with a terrifying momentum, extending a full length. hundreds of meters. A flying slash comparable to that of a top swordsman. Pirate hunter Zoro was extremely shocked when he saw the sword energy emitted by Dai Dai with his bare hands. The sword energy that he could not chop out with a knife now came to Dai Dai casually. He found that his hard work in cultivation was not as good as Dai Dui's unexpected encounter. What's the point? The crew members, including Lafitte and Du Q, looked at their captain with satisfaction. It seems that dismounting the 7 warlords of the sea and taking on the legendary pirate is just around the corner. They believe that Crocodile and Golden Lion Shiki can never stop the rise of the Big Daddy pirates. Next, after Dai Dai took a large amount of Qilin Lion Potion one after another, auspicious cloud-shaped scale tattoos actually appeared on his right chest and right back. Not only did he gain a huge increase in strength, but his aura became more fierce, full of the Beast King's spirit. Momentum. The most important thing is that these scale tattoos actually form a perfect overall tattoo with the 7-star demon sword tattoo on his right hand. The increase in strength and momentum, coupled with the strange ability of the 7-star demon sword, just the small adventure on these 2 islands made Dai Dai's strength increase a lot. Dai Dai is constantly developing and integrating his own new powers. After his barrier blade is attached to armament hockey, it can actually turn into a 7-star pattern. This is similar to the Straw Hat Luffy's 4th level hockey auspicious cloud pattern. What stands out is a handsome character, which makes him appear taller. Moreover, if the enemy is infected by Dai Dai's 7-star demonic energy, he will fall into dementia and madness at worst, or be controlled by Dai Dai at worst. This depends on the opponent's strength and will. Dai Dai conducted an experiment in the breeding farm of the Guluo Sayadi. He used the barrier 7-star blade to scratch 2 dinosaurs, which instantly caused them to start killing each other with red eyes. This ability put a satisfied smile on Dai Dai's face. You must know that the captain of the 5th division of the Whitebeard Pirates, the great swordsman Wajien Bista, his sword intention is the murderous intention of the rose. When he attacks, some sword intention petals will appear, making the enemy fall into a certain degree of confusion. It seems that this rugged pirate swordsman is also a swordsman with an elegant heart, and he has realized this kind of feminine sword intention. However, he also has a big beard and strong chest muscles. If he were a handsome swordsman like Whitehorse Cavendish, he might not feel so inconsistent. The fragments of the 7-star demon sword were taken to Wapple by the slippery beauty Desire, and they were combined with some shape memory alloy to re-synthesize a new sword for her own collection. As Dai Dai's strength increases, the Big Daddy pirates sail to the Alabasta waters more fearlessly. On the 7th day, a huge island ship broke the tranquility of the sea. Several huge sea cats were scared away by the island ship, because one sea cat was directly cut into pieces by a sword energy and became the island ship's food. Perhaps they were enemies, but after the Big Daddy pirates entered the waters of Alabasta, they once again encountered the captain of the Thieves' Captain Association under Golden Lion Shiki. Kill them. Dai Dai gave the order expressionlessly. Now that the other party has been looking for them, it is time to let out some news so that more of these pirates who join the pirate group will come to die. At this stage, the Big Daddy pirates need more fighting and fighting. Don't the emperors of the underground dark world want to see if the Big Daddy pirates can survive the Golden Lion? For various resources such as seastone weapons and devil fruit, Dai Dai also had to show off his muscles. Dai Dai will use his strength to tell them that those who joined the pirate group under the Golden Lion are just a bunch of rubbish in the eyes of the Big Daddy pirate group. A group of pirates who have not even entered the New World are not qualified to be the opponents of the Big Daddy pirates. Dai Dai is now even coveting and planning for the 7 warlords of the sea, the sand crocodile. Soon even the Golden Lion Shiki will be one of his prey. It's time to cause a scene. Following Dai Dai's order, the dreadnought battleships Saber and White Iron King stopped the pirate ship flying the flag of the Sky Pirates and the flag of its own pirate group, completely cutting off their escape route. On this pirate ship, in the cabin, a pirate has contacted the headquarters of the Sky Pirates. Headquarters of the Chief Thieves Association. This is the Karami Pirates. We are in the waters of Alabasta and are being attacked by the Big Daddy Pirates. Please support. Boom. The pirate wanted to continue reporting the situation, but the cabin he was in was penetrated by a sonic laser cannon, and he was also blown away by the terrifying airwaves. The phone bug also dropped to the ground and automatically hung up, then huddled back into its shell in fear. In the Sky Island group somewhere in the Grand Line, in the island base of Golden Lion Shiki, there was a telephone bug wiring pirate, and he immediately ran to report the emergency to Golden Lion. Then let the nearby joined pirate groups surround him. Do you think a new pirate wants me to do it myself? Golden Lion Shiki, who had a rudder on his head, slapped the intelligence agent away, and he continued to walk towards his monster research base. Now these monsters have completed their second evolution, and their third evolution has also yielded results. Soon his monster army will be able to destroy the world government and marine. On the experimental island, a huge black beetle sprayed thick flames at a two-tailed blue saber-toothed tiger, instantly burning the big tree behind it to ashes. A big yellow bird, with lightning all over its body, attacked a purple long-necked dragon on the ground. The terrifying current was too much for most of the pirates in the Grand Line to withstand. The exploding bison, the fox and weasel that shoots wind blades, the poisonous green frog that walks upright. These are monsters that have undergone the third evolution, which is already stronger than some demon fruit powers. The pirate ship of the Karami pirates. Captain. No. Why do you want to kill us? The crew members of the Karami pirates were crying and being chased and killed by their captain. At this time, Captain Karami's eyes were glowing red and he had completely lost his mind and was killing his men indiscriminately. It's really an evil ability. Devil Sheriff Lafitte pinched his top hat, showed a wanton smile, and let the enemies kill each other. This was very in line with his cruel taste. Lily Carnation is a snack again. Poison Q still said sickly that although he had developed a drug to restore youthful appearance, he still liked to pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. Moreover, with this weakling appearance, no strong person will target him, and even enemies will relax their vigilance against him, and then be slowly poisoned by him. This is their destiny. Otonokoshi Van Oka put down his sniper rifle. All threats in his field of vision had been cleared, and the opponent had no chance of coming back. Dai Dai was holding a phone bug and had already made contact with a certain woman. I have arrived at the Alabasta Sea area. Has the sand crocodile left its nest now? I'll be in these waters for a few days, don't let me down, Nico Robin. In the past few days, Dai Dai had taken the initiative to reveal his approximate location to Nico Robin, giving her time to report to Sand Crocodile. This hero of the Kingdom of Alabasta, for the sake of the safety of the kingdom, has made a high-profile voyage to encircle and suppress pirates. I hope you can survive, dear Dadier Babaya. Nico Robin chuckled and said, Crocodile was secretly succeeded by her, and now she is full of murderous intentions to hunt down Dai Dai, the rampant newcomer king. In addition to maintaining his status as a hero of the kingdom, he also fulfilled his duties as 7 warlords of the sea, and of course avenged the robbery of the Baroque studio. Nico Robin found a reason not to follow, because her sensitive identity cannot be exposed casually. Without the Sand Crocodile, she could take the opportunity to enter the royal tomb of the Neferutari clan and obtain the historical text first. After knowing the content of the historical text, she knew how many truths or lies Dai Dai had told. I won't die, a sand crocodile is not capable of taking my life. On the other hand, are you interested in finding another supporter? Your knowledge and intelligence abilities are pretty good. Dai Dai looked at the destroyed Kalami pirates. Each pirate was captured and fed to Lily Carnation. A garbage pirate group that didn't even have demon fruit power was not worthy of Dai Dai's eyes. If you could defeat the sand crocodile, maybe I'd consider it. Nico Robin still had a rational tone. These achievements of Dai Dai made her feel that this was a man as cruel as Crocodile, and he was not her ideal partner. Now my pirate ship is an island ship, and there are some weird and rare animals on it. I think they fit your bad taste. You have always liked these ugly things, right? I don't know if it was because of the woman Nico Robin or the woman's ability, but Dai Dai suddenly said something strange that didn't fit the image. This moment made Nico Robin stunned for a few seconds. What is the reason for solicitation? It's understandable what Shimifune said. This shows Dai Dai's power, but what the hell is this ugly rare beast? But how did Dai Dai know that she liked some weird things? Remembering that Dai Dai said he would like her 2 or 3 years from now, does Dai Dai really know her future? So you know her very well. Can you predict someone with your devil fruit ability? Where did your information come from? Nico Robin made sure that he had never exposed his special quirks in front of others so far. In this world, there is a devil fruit called the Fruit of Time, which can transport people from the past to the future. 20 or 30 years ago, a woman came to that era from 800 years ago, but now she is dead. Dai Di quietly told a secret, leaving Nico Robin with endless reveries to see if she still took the bait. This also made him suddenly think of that little perverted kid who had to die. With the arrival of Dai Dai, that artificial blue dragon devil fruit must not be eaten by this little bitch with a bullshit ethnic hairstyle. It simply insulted Shenlong's image. Have you not? Nico Robin's eyes widened in an instant. She suddenly thought of many things. Could this Dai Di come from the future? This can explain why Dai Dai knew her and Crocodile's identities, and also learned about the historical text. It's just that Dai Dai knows him so well. Will he become Dai Dai's partner in the future? Will we be partners in the future? Nico Robin pursed his lips and said a little flustered, nervous and expectantly, can he really find a partner for whom he can give his life? Who knows? Maybe more than just partners. Dai Dai chuckled. He could now guess how exaggerated this smart Nico Robin was. Nico Robin is silent, not just a partner. Are there other, more intimate relationships, that kind of relationship? Don't die. Nico Robin had a weird face and a very strange feeling in her heart. She suddenly said something seriously and ended the call in a hurry. She, who had always been calm and rational, actually felt panicked many times at this moment. She looked at Dai Dai's photo of the bounty, took a dozen deep breaths, and then headed towards the royal tomb of the Neferutari clan. She carries Ohara's dream with her, and she cannot be disturbed by other things. Dai Dai, on the other side, showed a smile. The smarter a woman is, the more she likes to think wildly. Anyway, Dai Dai didn't lie. Nico Robin, who do you imagine me to be? A burst of flames and gunpowder smoke ignited on the ship of the Karami pirates. After the Big Daddy pirates cleaned up the Golden Lion-affiliated pirate group, their pirate journey was completely ended. Young ones, get ready for a collision with the 7 warlords of the sea. Dai Dai grinned and said that this time he did not plan to drive the Galosiadi to find the sand crocodile for a duel. He would use the sea beast Mu to pull the dreadnought battleship Saber to find the crocodile. In this way, it doesn't matter even if the ship is destroyed by the erosion of the sand crocodile. However, don't expect sand crocodile's Baroque Gustav to be intact. Yes. Wow. Stimulate. This time, the troops were divided into 3 groups. Beiji Kella and the others stayed at the island ship base camp, while Ghostman Akin, Desire, and Nami drove the White Iron King and sneaked into the seabed to be ready to respond at any time. Dai Dai took the main combatants to see Crocodile, the king of the desert, and see if the 7 warlords of the sea could hold a 50-50 against any strong man. On board the Baroque Gustav on the other side. Sand Crocodile only took Daz Bones and some pirates on the boat to set sail this time. Because of Robin's report, his identity as Mr. Zero of Baroque Working Group was already known to Dai Dai. So he summoned Mr. One to his side and exposed the identity of 7 warlords of the sea, which gave him one more subordinate he could use openly. As for the other cadres of Baroque Working Group, he does not want to completely reveal the identity of Mr. Zero yet, so he did not use this criminal organization this time. After all, his current superficial identity is still the guardian of Alabasta and the hero of the kingdom, so it is necessary to maintain his image. And to deal with the Big Daddy pirates, so many people are not needed. Dai Dai is just a new king from the weakest sea. He doesn't believe how strong he can be. He can defeat them in seconds with just a few moves. It was as simple as when Whitebeard killed him and cut off his hand. This time Dai Dai robbed him, and even though he knew his identity, he dared to provoke him, the Mr. Zero behind Baroque Works and the 7 warlords of the sea. So this time he planned not to let Dai Dai simply die like this. He wanted to cripple Dai Duo's hands, feet, eyes and ears, and then send him to impel down, making him live in pain for the rest of his life. Crocodile stood on the bow of the boat with a cigar between his teeth. He looked at the sea and sneered. Maybe it was because he hadn't done anything for so long that the pirates had forgotten his terror. This time I will use the East Blue Rookie King Festival flag to let the pirates in the Grand Line Park once again recall the terrifying power of the Desert King. After a day of searching for each other, under the instructions of Dai Duo, Otonokoshi Van Oka deliberately failed to kill the intelligence agents of the Baroque Working Group, that is, the Vulture Miss Friday and the Sea Otter Mr. 13. Let them successfully observe the movements of the Big Daddy pirates. The Devil Sheriff Lafitte is also higher in the sky, looking for the Sand Crocodile pirate ship. In this way, with intelligence exposed to each other, the Baroque Gustav and the dreadnought battleship Saber finally met. The sea beast Mu Mo dived decisively, leaving behind 2 murderous pirate ships. Crocodile commanded his men with an expressionless face, and quickly approached for a follow-up battle. He wanted the pirate ship opposite to turn into decaying debris. The Big Daddy pirates didn't even need to give Dai Dai's orders. The sonic cannon fired at them, followed by a large number of transparent wind blades. However, the Sand Crocodile is not a simple thing. He just frowned and used a sand blade to slice through Eldrago's sonic laser cannon. He also used a sand tornado to easily block Cyclone Eric's countless attacks. Windblade. During the short attack and defense, 2 pirate ships quickly approached. Not bad ability, are you interested in becoming my subordinate? After Crocodile easily diffused these 2 distant attacks, he also extended an invitation to the leaders of the Big Daddy pirates with great interest. But the next second, a big hole exploded in his forehead, neck, and heart, and a lot of sand splashed out. The sniper's speed is good, but these bullets are useless to me. It seems that you can't wait to turn into mummies? Crocodile chewed his cigar and said expressionlessly, his tone full of murderous intent. He hated others interrupting him. The 3 large holes in his body began to heal, and he soon returned to his original shape without any injuries. But Otonoko Van Oka, who fired the gun, was not disappointed. Instead, he showed a strange smile that was difficult to detect. He could feel that the 7 warlords of the sea had lowered their guard a lot, which meant that his goal had been achieved. Facing the first attack, even Logia Demon Fruit Power is afraid of being attacked by seastone bullets and armed colored bullets, so they will be very alert at this time. Usually elementalize in advance to avoid the first wave of attacks. Of course, this is my experience in the New World. You generally won't encounter such masters in the front section of the Grand Line. However, prudent people will not gamble on luck. After confirming that Van Oka's bullet was not seastone and not entangled with hockey, the sand crocodile had already somewhat ignored the sniper. And Van Oka also retired, silently retreating behind everyone, and then quietly replaced the seastone bullet. Next, we have to wait for the fierce battle between this sand crocodile and Captain Dai Dai. When he consumes a lot of energy and has a flaw, Fanao will give him a real fatal blow. Of course, if Captain Dai Dai could defeat the 7 warlords of the sea by himself, he would naturally not shoot easily. HMPH. If you can, kill us. I just want to see your 7 warlords of the sea's strength. Howl. As the 2 ships approached, Dai Dai looked at Crocodile's arrogant face, snorted and waved his finger at him. A sharp sword energy was generated instantly and quickly struck the 7 warlords of the sea. He didn't have much thought in chatting with this sand crocodile. He would know if there was any need to communicate after a fight. East Blue Kid, you don't know how high the sky is. The golden hook in Crocodile's hand went up to block Dai Dai's sharp sword energy. Unexpectedly, it actually blocked the sword energy, but the sand crocodile was also knocked back a big step. This made Dai Dai narrow his eyes slightly and look at the 7 warlords of the sea. It was a 50-50 draw that could compete with Mahawk in a draw. Then let's see how strong your sand fruit is. A broken hand will defeat the dog. A barrier blade appeared in Dai Dai's hand, which was quickly wrapped with armament hockey in the 7-star demon pattern. He jumped directly towards the opponent's pirate ship. You actually know how to hockey. Facing Dai Dai's fierce blow, Crocodile did not dare to take the attack. He turned into a sandstorm and at the same time struck Dai Dai with a series of desert swords. He didn't expect that the newcomer at the front of the Grand Line would actually awaken armament hockey. Don't you, 7 warlords of the sea, know how to do it? Dai Dai grinned, and a barrier appeared in his left hand, which directly blocked Crocodile's sharp sand blade and continued to slash forward. At this moment, he transformed into a shipbreaking maniac. As long as he couldn't hit the elemental body of the sand crocodile, he would smash the deck and mast of the Baroque Gustav to pieces. The pirate hunter Zoro excitedly rushed towards Dazbones, whose hands turned into blades, and a fierce battle broke out between the 2. The pirate power on the Baroque Gustav was quickly completely eliminated by Badgers, Lafitte, Edrag, and Eric. Sand Crocodile, you have been around for so many years and you don't even have a few capable subordinates. You 7 warlords of the sea are such a failure. Are you fooled into thinking that you are the hero of the kingdom and the eagle dog of the world government? When Dai Dai saw Crocodile constantly dodging his attacks, he taunted him. Sand Crocodile is probably trying to break Dai Dai's barrier, are looking for Dai Dai's weakness. But this is not a desert country like Alabasta. Without the favorable location, the threat of sand crocodiles is greatly reduced. And Dai Dai can completely destroy both pirate ships, and then use his strength and support on the wreckage of the pirate ships. In fact, Crocodile is a very selfish person, and has repeatedly declared to the world that he never needs subordinates. He feels that he alone is enough to navigate the sea, and he never trusts his subordinates. Pluton, who had been secretly planning Alabasta over the years, also hunted many pirates alone and became a hero in this country, even being published in newspapers many times. While completing his duties as 7 warlords of the sea, he also plundered a large amount of pirate funds for the development of the Baroque working society. This time, the new king of Dadi Babaya can be brought along with Mr. 1 Daz Bonus, just to have one more subordinate to help clean up the minions of the Big Daddy pirates. But he didn't expect that Dai Dai's strength seemed to be a bit beyond his expectation. A flying slash that is as terrifying as a great swordsman can actually be wielded with bare hands. This is even more powerful than the 6-style Tempest kick used by the Marine Vice Admiral. Moreover, Dai Dai's barrier shield was extremely hard, and his Desert Sword could not break through the opponent's defense at all. If I were in Alabasta, I could use moves like Desert Sunflower to trap Demon Fruit Power, which has a somewhat unsolvable defense. After killing the other pirates on the Baroque Gustav, Badgers, Edrag and the others retreated to the dreadnought battleship Saber. Because the battle between Dai Dai and Crocodile became more and more intense, Shalon Storm and Sandblades flew around, full of cutting and corrosive properties. Devil Sheriff Lafitte successfully caught the Bald Eagle and Sea Otter in the air, and directly captured these two little trash. As intelligence agents of the Baroque Working Society, they also control the positions of other Baroque cadres. This will be of great help to the Big Daddy pirates after they invade Alabasta. On the top of the mast of the dreadnought battleship Saber, Otonokoshi Van Oka had silently raised the alloy improved version of the famous gun Senriku. As long as he shoots, he is 100% sure to kill the Dice fruit user who is fighting Zoro fiercely. But his target is not this guy, and in his observation hockey perception, Zoro is stronger than this Daz Bones, so there is no need for him to intervene. Otherwise, Zoro, whose head is half made of muscles, will be in trouble for him later. He looked at Captain Dideal and 7 warlords of the Sea Crocodile who were fighting fiercely. This Sand Crocodile doesn't seem to be as strong as expected. Of course, it may be that Dai Dai, the new king, exceeds the combat power of the pirates in the previous section of the Grand Line. When the Sand Crocodile leaves the sea, it turns into a water-filled crocodile. As expected of Captain Dai Dai, he actually managed to get the 7 warlords of the sea out of Alabasta. Lafitte flew down in the air, chuckled jokingly, and threw Miss Friday, the Bald Eagle, and Mr. 13, the Sea Otter, who had already rolled their eyes, on the deck. Fate doesn't lie. Shinigami Poison Q had no intention of taking action at all. He was still lying sickly on Yoma Zhuangzwang, watching the fierce battle on the opposite ship, but the gaze in his eyes was a bit deep. Hey! Zoro, kill him quickly, or Lousy will intervene. Fighting champion Badgers yelled angrily. He didn't expect a 7 warlords of the sea, not even a few cadres who could look past them. This time they took action and killed some garbage minions. This was a waste of their expectations and time. He didn't even use any force, and the opponent basically fell down. Now Roronoa Zoro has a decent opponent, which is really annoying. He is really a good opponent. Zoro fought off Mr. 1, and then saw that the crew members of the Big Daddy pirates had returned to their pirate ships. Now, only the 4 of them were left on the enemy ship. The battle between Dai Dai and Sand Crocodile will not end so soon, and their battle is getting more and more fierce. If this continues, this pirate ship may be sunk. He saw that most of the ship's buildings on the 2nd and 3rd decks had been smashed by Dai Dui. The thick masts had been chopped off and fell down, and most of the decks had been turned into sand by Sand Crocodiles. Looking shabby. The Baroque Gustav is also a huge sailing ship with 3 decks. The battle on it has not yet affected Zoro and Daz Bonus who are fighting on the 1st deck. Hey, Blade Man, use all your strength, time is running out. The pirate hunter Zoro, who was about to fight, slowly put on a green turban, pulled out the 3rd sword, and bit the big sword Wado Ichimonji in his mouth. 3-sword style. I don't know what it means. Daz Bones turned his hands and feet into blades, and his whole body became as hard as steel. Are you looking down on the Santo Ryu? 3 swordsman style, 1 Gori Raku, 2 Gori Raku. Zoro's eyes turned cold, and the muscles on the knife-holding arm began to expand rapidly. The strength was strengthened several times, and there was a vague armament hockey wrapped around the 2 knives. My body is made of steel, no one can cut through my defense. Mr. 1 Daz Bonus even had metallic reflective metal on his body, and some sharp blades appeared on various parts. Really? There is a steel fruit user on our ship, and I have killed him a long time ago. My goal is not to cut down your steel. Lousy is practicing hard in order to split Dai Dai's broken barrier. Pirate hunter Zoro's eyes flashed red, veins popped out on his sword-holding hands, and the deck beneath his feet was shattered. His eyes were full of murderous intent at this moment. He has already reached the realm of cutting steel. And he also awakens armament hockey. Chopping steel is just a small goal that he has completed. 3 swordsman style. Ghost slaying. The deck exploded with a bang, and the huge power of his legs made Zoro disappear instantly, and huge wind pressure passed across him. Kid. Lousy is a dice fruit user. Destruction slash. Daz Bones waved his arms and crossed them in front of his chest, and charged towards Zoro. The sharp and hard double blades were going to completely cut apart everything in front of him. Clang. Tear. The metal sound of swords colliding suddenly sounded, and then there was the oozing sound of muscles being cut and pulled, and the two people passed each other quickly. After a brief stagnation, a large amount of blood spurted out from a figure. Your steel-edged body is nothing compared to Dai's barrier. Zoro showed a cold smile and said lightly, then sheathed the word harmony in his mouth, slowly took off the green turban, and sheathed the two swords in his hands, leaving behind a cold and handsome back. Zoro ignored the fallen Daz Bones and turned around to go back to the dreadnought battleship Saber. At this time, a figure flew in the air. Oh, Zoro, you are stronger. However, this kind of trophy cannot be let go. Devil Sheriff Lafitte flew over with his white wings waving, and couldn't help but admire. The growth rate of this green algae-headed young man was really fast, second only to Captain Dai. In a short time, this guy will really take the second-in-command position of the Big Daddy Pirates. It's just a small role, Pirate Hunter Zoro said coolly and jumped back on the ship of the Big Daddy Pirates. Lafitte chuckled, picked up the unconscious Daz Bonus and flew back. Then he asked someone to find seastone handcuffs and cuff the dice fruit user. And in the battle on the other side, waste. Crocodile's face was full of disdain when he saw that Daz Bonus was cut down so quickly and was already captured, but his tone was filled with displeasure. You're not much better. It seems that after leaving the desert kingdom of Alabasta, you, the king of the desert, seem to be nothing more than this. Dai squinted his eyes slightly, with a dangerous red light in his eyes. This sand crocodile still has sufficient combat experience, and its ability to elementalize in advance is very fast, making Dai's armed color barrier blade unable to cut him at all. Entity. Kid. Don't think that you will be invincible after awakening armament hockey. Don't forget that you are also an Esper. Erosion of reincarnation. The entire second and third decks and buildings of the Baroque Gustav quickly decomposed and turned into sand. Is this the awakening of Logia Devil Fruit? Dai saw that these wooden decks and cabins had turned into real sand. This was the assimilation power of Logia Devil Fruit. Powerful Logia users can permanently change the climate of a place, like Punk Hazard, which turned into an island of ice and fire after the all-out battle between Akainu Sakazuki and Aokiji Kuzan. And Crocodile also often uses the ability to use sand to create sandstorms and desert tornadoes, attacking various major cities in Alabasta. I didn't expect you to know the concept of awakening. Crocodile's face was a little calm. This newcomer knew a lot and didn't look like a newcomer at all. And even his hidden identity can be known. This powerful intelligence ability is a bit like the descendants of some superpowers. Under the sand crocodile's ability to transform into sand, the upper two decks of this huge three-decker sailboat turned into sand, surrounding Crocodile. The dreadnought battleship Saber, which was watching the battle, also retreated several hundred meters. If the sand crocodile flew onto the ship would be destroyed. You destroyed your pirate ship. I wonder if you have any support, or your sand fruit can fly back to land. Dai looked at the sand crocodile with some interest. He wondered how long the elemental sandman could fly. Kill you. That pirate ship is my ship, and they can't escape. Crocodile sneered. He could fly over a mere few hundred meters away at any time, even if it was several thousand meters away. Go to the sea, new kid, heavy Shalon. All the sand around Crocodile began to rotate rapidly, and he himself entered the elemental state, turning into a huge sandstorm tornado, almost covering the entire ground of the ruins of the first deck. Dai's demon fruit power no longer has a standing position, and falling into the sea is Dai's only fate. Is this what you rely on to navigate the sea? Barrier Susanoo. Dai sneered. His cloak was blown by the powerful sandstorm tornado. A huge barrier giant appeared and stood motionless on the deck, letting the sandstorm cut and blow. I just happened to learn Elbaf's martial arts skills, so you can try them out. The giant knife in Dai's hand was swung wildly on the deck, and with each blow, a large amount of sand was annihilated or directly washed away by the spiral sword energy, and the sandstorm began to weaken. Kid. Your ability is really disgusting. The attack and defense are really strong and incomprehensible. However, you are too bulky in this form. Then just stay on this broken ship and enjoy yourself. I'm going to kill your crew. Crocodile couldn't help Dai, who was like a turtle. he said with an unhappy look on his face, then turned into an elemental sandman and wanted Big Daddy Pirate's pirate ship to fly over. If we can't deal with Dai, why can't we deal with those rubbish? Moreover, Dai, who cannot fly and has no support, will just wait to die on this useless ship. Bang. X3. Just as Crocodile rushed toward the dreadnought battleship Saber with murderous intent, 3 gunshots made his hair stand on end. His elemental body quickly dispersed, but he was still hit by a sea stone bullet. Crocodile's body briefly regained its physical form, and a pool of blood splattered on his shoulders. He looked at the sniper on the opposite side with murderous eyes. Sea stone bullet. He immediately continued to kill them. He must kill all these ants. But the next moment, the barrier giant quickly decomposed into a huge spherical shield, sealing him. Welcome to my barrier showdown cage. Today, only one of us can get out standing upright. Dai's armament hockey wrapped his fist, grinned, and rushed towards the sand crocodile with bloodthirsty, and the entire barrier giant ball was shrinking rapidly. After a while, it stabilized into a barrier ball with a diameter of less than 10 meters. Otonokoshi Van Oka on the dreadnought battleship Saber showed a disappointed expression. It seemed that it did not achieve the effect he had imagined. However, an opportunity has been created for Captain Daideal to trap Crocodile. Next, it's time to watch the real duel between Dai and the 7 warlords of the sea. Clang. Dai's armed fist collided with Crocodile's golden poisonous hook. After a brief stalemate, the auspicious cloud scales on Dai's body seemed to come alive and directly blasted the sand crocodile onto the barrier. Next, this is my home court. Barrier thrust. In the barrier sphere, Dai shouted excitedly, and a barrier thorn was quickly extended and produced, with armament hockey wrapped around it, and it stabbed directly towards Crocodile. In the Desert Kingdom, it is Crocodile's home court, but in the barrier battle cage, this is Dai's absolute home court. No one can get out of here except by killing Dai, or some special space-based devil fruit ability. Even the Logia lava fruit, which is said to have the most powerful attack power, cannot break the barrier created by the barrier fruit. It seems I can't get out without killing you. Crocodile rolled around and quickly dodged Dai's barrier thrust. He touched the blood at the corner of his mouth with an ugly look on his face. This Dai's armed fist is a bit too strong. Is this power as strong as some New World monsters? Crocodile had just tried to use his sand transformation ability to erode the barrier, but found that he couldn't do anything about the barrier, which made his face look a little solemn for the first time. And at this time, there was still a dull pain in the shoulder that had just been shot by sea stone, making his face even colder. Are you going to be defeated by a newcomer today? No, he will never allow this to happen. He began to look at the newcomer Dadier Babaya seriously and officially regarded him as his opponent. Crocodile's aura began to change a little. In fact, in the original work, the young and vigorous Crocodile was able to fight to a draw with the 19-year-old Devil's Descendant Bullet at the age of 20. For this reason, Crocodile's fame soared. He was offered a bounty of 81 million belly and was invited by the world government to become the 7 warlords of the sea. He is also one of the current 7 warlords of the sea, the earliest member to join this government organization. Before the execution of Pirate King Roger, he was already a 7 warlords of the sea. At that time, Doflamingo, Gecko Moria, and Mahawk were just newcomers, and they probably had never even been to the New World. In the same year that he became 7 warlords of the sea, the extremely arrogant Crocodile entered the New World to challenge Whitebeard, but was instantly defeated by Whitebeard and lost one of his hands. This made him lose his ambition to be strong for a while, and he slowly began to covet external power like Pluton. For this reason, he did not hesitate to spend more than 10 or 20 years investigating the news and whereabouts of ancient weapon Pluton. He even became a national hero in Alabasta and slowly planned Pluton's information, because the Neferutari family is the descendant of one of the 20 kings and has received the focus of the world government. Therefore, Crocodile did not dare to usurp the country blatantly. He also used the dancing fan incident to instigate Alabasta's domestic war little by little, planning to eventually kill the original king as a hero and obtain Pluton's information. After Crocodile was defeated by Straw Hat Luffy, he awakened the heart of a true strong man again. He was really touched by Straw Hat Luffy's willpower to do sit-ups repeatedly, and decided to clean up and go ashore, join the protagonist's camp, and then increase his strength through the crazy god tier of Oda. So after the Impelled Down War and the Summit War, this sand crocodile became a new world giant crocodile again, and the bounty completely exceeded all the royal lieutenants. Even for powerful lieutenants such as Katakuri, Marco, and Fire Calamity, their bounties can only be sniffed behind Crocodile. Dai also felt the change in Crocodile's momentum. Is this a change in will and courage? He didn't expect that he had such a catalytic effect. If you had this awareness and attitude from the beginning, maybe I would continue my journey of experience and not mess with you for the time being. But now, we have to fall one. Dai will not avoid fighting just because of Crocodile's change in momentum, not to mention that Dai now has all the advantageous land and people. In short, in this decisive battle, I have the advantage. I was young and energetic like you back then, but your fighting wisdom was indeed better than mine. Crocodile stood up straight again, the cigar in his mouth still not extinguished. He took a deep breath of smoke, then placed the golden poison hook on his chest and got into a fighting posture. Old guys and losers like to reminisce about the past. What kind of guy are you? Dai crossed his fingers, and the spherical barrier cage turned into a square cage, turning into a small space 10 meters long, wide and 5 meters high. Moreover, Dai, who is 226 centimeters tall, and Crocodile, who is 253 centimeters tall, cannot move much at all while standing in this small and airtight space. Then every next move will be a fatal close-range attack. It seems you are very confident in your physical skills. Crocodile also knew how limited standing in a small space was for him, a Logia user, and the person facing him was a master of taijutsu, Grandmaster Armament Hockey. Originally, I could have trapped you to death, but I want to challenge you to a duel. Show your courage when fighting Whitebeard. Dai threw away his cloak, revealing his knotted muscles. The black auspicious cloud scale tattoo on his body turned scarlet, and the 7-star demon pattern on his right arm also glowed with a strange green light. Is this a fair duel? Crocodile smiled contemptuously, touched his shoulder that was still bleeding, and looked at the unsolvable barrier cage. This didn't look like a fair duel. What? You still want me to break free from the prison? You have lived so long that you can't see the reality clearly. If I lived for decades like you, I could blow you to pieces with one hand. Dai clenched his fists and rushed forward. Regardless of his training age, it was impossible for a duel to be fair. Moreover, he originally wanted Crocodile, the 7 warlords of the sea, to be his whetstone. Dang, XN the sound of intensive fist collision sounded, but Crocodile's golden poisonous hook still did not deform. After all, this is a special alloy that can collide with the supreme sharp knife, Knight. Boom. Your hockey can actually attack the interior directly. Crocodile felt a sharp pain in his severed hand, but the golden poisonous hook he had spent a lot of money to order was not broken. This golden poison hook is a hard weapon customized by a certain scientist. I also purchased devil fruit weapons from world government, and also purchased a large number of seastone products from Doflamingo. Didn't you fight the devil's descendant, Bullet? How come you don't know anything? The 5 fingers of Dai's 7-star arm spread out angrily, and with a violent swing, 5 strange sword energies struck Crocodile at close range, splitting him into several pieces. However, Crocodile transformed into elemental sand and occupied this barrier cage, turning this small space into a space of yellow sand. It's useless. Barrier cage shrinking circle. Barrier blades appeared in Dai Duo's hands, and with armament hockey attached, he began to attack indiscriminately, splitting all the yellow sand. Moreover, the cage barrier actually shrank again, and Crocodile appeared again as a puff of blood spattered out. At this moment, his face was getting more and more ugly, and he couldn't think of a way to solve this Dai. The sealing power, defense power, and attack power were all so powerful that he could not attack Dai's body at all. Even if there was deadly poison in his golden poison hook, he would not be able to attack Dai. Crocodile, you who have stayed at the front of the Grand Line all year round have been abandoned by the times. Dai shouted angrily at the sand crocodile with an expressionless face, and continued to strike with the black blade in his hand. This guy has been nesting in Alabasta for more than 10 years, wasting his prime time from his 20s to 40s on Pluton, who is nothing. He is almost useless. Kaido of the Beasts only came out to play solo at the age of 21 after the collapse of Rock's Pirate, while Crocodile was already a member of 7 warlords of the sea at the age of 20. Kaido has become 4 emperors, while Crocodile is still 7 warlords of the sea, and has to be singled out by newcomers like Straw Hat Luffy who are just starting out and don't know how to hockey. Kid. Shut up. Crocodile angrily raised his golden hook and rushed towards the new East Blue King in anger. Boom. Dai's 7-star barrier black blade suddenly struck Crocodile's golden poison hook, and at this time, an invisible hockey was also wrapped around the golden poison hook. Under the oppression of Dai, the new king, this sand crocodile's murderous intent and will are constantly rising, and his courage is also growing, and he actually reawakened Haki. Yes. Yes. This is how it feels. Keep coming. Dai's passionate shouting and continuous high-intensity close-range physical battles made his eyes flash red with excitement, and his murderous intent and courage continued to skyrocket. Feeling the pressure from Crocodile, a veteran powerhouse, Dai became more and more excited as he played, and his mood became higher and higher. He actually dispersed the barrier blade and no longer used the power of the 7-star demon pattern, but used armament Haki to fight fiercely with the sand crocodile. Damn you brat. You want to use me as a whetstone. Crocodile was punched at the corner of Crocodile's mouth by Dai, and the cigar from his mouth was knocked away. The black fur coat on his body was also chopped to pieces by Dai. You stay at the front of the Grand Line, don't you just want to bully the new pirates? Don't you think you are always invincible? The scarlet scales on Dai's body have also returned to black. He is constantly squeezing the Haki in his body, and he wants to hone his Haki proficiency through the pressure of 7 warlords of the sea. You actually underestimate me. Crocodile became even more angry. Not only did Dai not use the barrier fruit ability, he also stopped using the weird sword energy and terrifying power. Is this an insult to him? Then show your skills, dog of broken spine. Dai has entered a full and passionate fighting state, and all his cells are exploding. He is eager to kill this Logia ability user with only his personal Haki. This will drive Dai's murderous aura, making his armament Haki continuously strengthen, and emission Haki's flowing attacks becoming smoother and more coordinated. You little brat. Turn me into a mummy, erosion of reincarnation. Crocodile activated its maximum sand erosion ability, completely draining all the moisture in the small space of this barrier, and the air became extremely dry. Even the skin on Dai's body began to wrinkle and shriveled. Boom. But the next moment, in the barrier cage, Dai, who was completely black, was like a rhinoceros charging, hitting Crocodile against the barrier. Aha! Crocodile was knocked against the wall and a mouthful of blood suddenly spurted out from his mouth. Not enough. Not enough. Dai shouted with red eyes, his armed fists turned into afterimages and kept hitting the sand crocodile. The terrifying power made this barrier cage tremble, and the Baroque Gustav, with only one deck left, was also constantly shaking. Outside, the dreadnought battleship Saber approached the ruined pirate ship again, and the crew of the Big Daddy pirates were intently watching the fierce battle inside the barrier cage. The expressions of the crew members varied. Zoro clenched his fists and looked very calm. He knew that his current strength was still not enough and he needed to become stronger. Poison Q, Van Oka, and Lafitte showed faint smiles. They were indeed the ones destined to defeat the 7 warlords of the sea with a newcomer. This road will become wider and wider in the future. I wonder if the captain is interested in becoming 7 warlords of the sea. Lafitte pressed the brim of his hat and laughed softly, the pale dramatic expression on his face becoming more and more playful. Waihaha. As expected of the captain, the macho crew members such as Badgers and Edrago cheered for Dai. They knew that this trial battle between the 7 warlords of the sea would directly turn into a battle of annihilation. They also didn't expect that Sand Crocodile, a subordinate of the 7 warlords of the sea, would be so bad. Only Crocodile could take care of the entire ship. It turns out that these 7 warlords of the sea are all such weak beings. So in the future, can we do 2 more 7 warlords of the sea? As if seeing that the overall situation was decided, even the large diving raiding ship White Iron King lurking on the bottom of the sea emerged from the sea. Together with the dreadnought battleship Saber, they watched the fierce battle between Captain Dai and the Sand Crocodile. The peerless beauty who ate the slippery fruit, the slippery girl Desea, the blonde beauty who ate the sticky fruit, the sweetheart queen, these 2 close-fitting women wearing folds were screaming sweetly to their captain man. The navigator, the little cat thief Nami, and the cook, Carmen, an orange-haired beauty and a red-haired sassy girl, were also waving flags and fans for their captain, jumping and cheering, and the waves were surging. As if feeling the cheers from the crew, Dai's momentum became more and more powerful. Ah! Get away! Crocodile's mouth, nose, eyes, and ears were bleeding, and he angrily hit Dai's face with a golden poisonous hook. Ding! The poisonous hook suddenly pierced Dai's armed-colored face, sending out a shower of sparks, but Dai still waved his fists to hit Crocodile's abdomen. Bang! The golden poisonous hook sprayed out a purple poisonous mist, which forced Dai to close his eyes and hold his breath. And Crocodile forced his elementalization to break free from Dai's crazy suppression. At this moment, his face was extremely ugly. The bleeding from his 7 orifices and the severe injury to his abdomen made him look very pale. Kid, for being able to push me to this point, I admit that you are the well-deserved rookie king this year. Although I want to kill you with my strength, this situation is no longer possible. Thank you for giving me the awareness to become stronger. However, I can't die now, I have to go back for revenge. Crocodile took off his golden poison hook with his body trembling a little. He stared at the new King Daiduo and said with a bit of gritted teeth. A large amount of deadly venom in the golden poison hook was poured out, but under Crocodile's erosion reincarnation move, all the water was absorbed instantly. The venom has already turned into poisonous mist and poisonous powder before it reaches the ground, filling the small barrier cage space in an instant. Kid, if you don't open this barrier cage, then you will die. Crocodile coughed up blood, his eyes full of danger. Even if Dai Dai did not open the barrier would be automatically lifted after Dai Dai was poisoned, and he had already taken the antidote. I thought you would have some abilities after regaining your strong heart, but you disappoint me so much, Crocodile. Dai Dai opened his eyes, which were full of indifference. He was very angry now. This 7 warlords of the sea made him extremely dissatisfied. Crocodile still hasn't used his full strength yet. Dai Dai ignored the poisonous mist and powder and walked straight towards the sand crocodile. Veins were already appearing on his dark fists. Why are you so weak? Dai Dai yelled angrily. The emission hockey on his fist surged wildly. He rushed forward at high speed and blasted away furiously. Dai Dai didn't find the excitement of victory at all in the 7 warlords of the sea. Originally, he wanted to awaken Conqueror's hockey through the pressure of the sand crocodile. But the current performance of 7 warlords of the sea really disappointed him. This was originally just a trial battle to test Crocodile's strength, but unexpectedly it was the final battle. Even though Dai Dai had rekindled the strong heart of the sand crocodile, the 7 warlords of the sea still did not give Dai Dai enough pressure in the end, and even wanted to use poison to resolve the battle. I don't believe you can last forever without breathing. Crocodile was about to become an element and wanted to spend some time with Dai Dai, but he seemed to have forgotten that this was Dai Dai's home court. Go to hell. Trash. Barrier cage final round. Ba fist. The barrier cage shrank rapidly again, turning into a cube of only 3 meters, and Dai Dai's angry emission hockey fist had already hit the ball of sand. Aha! Crocodile vomited blood, and was smashed out of his original form by armament hockey again. He was in a narrow cage within reach, in a small space filled with purple poisonous mist and yellow sand, with blood constantly spraying on the transparent barrier. The barrier cage and the ruined deck shook again, and the sound of violent beatings, cracking bones, and blood spurting continued to be heard. It's over. Van Oka said calmly. Poison Q. Get there quickly, Captain Dai Dai may be poisoned. Desire, Nami and several other women on the White Iron King shouted at the Dr. Poison Q on the dreadnought battleship Saber. Lafitte immediately opened his wings, picked up the old guy Du Q with a smile, and flew over. With the captain's personal girlfriend's orders, Lafitte didn't mind teasing the dangerous ship's doctor. The sickly Poison Q also gave Lafitte a look. He really wanted to use a degeneration virus to turn this white-faced birdman into a real woman. But after thinking about it, I let it go. It would be hard to explain to the captain that he would do something to his own crew members. When they landed on the ruined deck of the Baroque Gustav, Dai Dai also unlocked the narrow barrier cage, and the poisonous mist and poisonous powder drifted away in the wind. Dai Dai held up Crocodile's collar with an expressionless expression, and this 7 warlords of the sea had now completely rolled his eyes, covered in blood, and limply lost consciousness. With a bruised nose, swollen face, and bleeding from all his orifices, he looked very miserable. The terrifying murderous aura that had not dissipated from Dai Dai made both Lafitte and Poison Q look at their powerful captain respectfully. Congratulations, Captain, for killing one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Devil Sheriff Lafitte immediately took off his black top hat, bowed and saluted to his captain Dai Di. Cuff him with sea stones and lock him up. Dai Dai casually tossed Crocodile's body to Lafitte, and then sat down on the spot. Yes. My lord captain. Lafitte carried the 7 warlords of the sea and flew back with a smile on his face. This was a real big fish. Shinigami Poison Q immediately came over to check Dai Dai's injuries, and easily cured Dai Dai's minor poisoning. Except for the excessive consumption of hockey, everything is back to normal. I just need to rest. Du Q didn't have a sickly tone when he spoke, but spoke in a serious and energetic tone. At this time, the Iron King and the dreadnought battleship Saber both came out. Captain, here we come. Chef Carmen immediately rushed over with Nami, Sugar Queen and others with plates of delicious food, and Desire even came over with wine and nutritional drinks. Nami directly picked up Poison Q and threw it aside. A bad old man should not hinder them from taking care of the captain. Poison Q angrily stayed away. He couldn't afford to offend these captain's women or the women to be determined. Dai Dai was not polite and started eating like crazy. After a fight, he had to replenish his food immediately to regain his strength and not let himself be in a weak state. Otherwise, no one knows whether other pirate groups or marines will launch a surprise attack at the next moment. Dai Dai enjoyed the services of these women comfortably. After a brief meal and recovery, return to the Gulosady. Enter Alabasta immediately. Dai Dai gave an order, and the Iron King and the dreadnought battleship Saber set sail back together, leaving behind the Baroque Gustav Hulk that was smoking and blazing. Everything left on this ship has been plundered by the Big Daddy pirates. Devil Sheriff Lafitte also found the 7 warlords of the sea special phone bug on Crocodile that contacted the world government and naval headquarters. This made Lafitte immediately bring Van Oka, Beiji Crow and others to discuss and prepare a plan to allow the Big Daddy pirates to temporarily become the 7 warlords of the sea and develop well. Although Dai Dai has not yet had this idea, in the eyes of these think tank guys, becoming the 7 warlords of the sea and developing their power is a very good plan. The 2 prisoners, Crocodile and Daz Bonus, were rescued by Poison Q, and neither of them died. Candle Man Mr. 3, Painter Marianu, Umbrella Woman Michita, Bomb Man Mr. 5, they also know who the boss of Baroque Works is. Unexpectedly, the powerful 7 warlords of the sea have all been defeated by their captain Dai Dai. That is to say, they no longer have to worry about being hunted down by Baroque Company, Limited, and they have embraced the Big Daddy pirates. This made them completely return to the Big Daddy pirates and integrate into this powerful pirate group. The next day, early morning. After Desire and Sugar Queen were smooth and moist, Dai Dai again contacted Nico Robin, the vice president of Baroque Works. What? You really defeated Crocodile? Nico Robin said with a bit of shock, and she covered her mouth in disbelief. Crocodile, the majestic king of the desert, actually overturned the new king Dai Dai? Yes. Now you immediately summon the cadres of Baroque Works, announce that I am the boss, and then let the capable cadres join the Big Daddy pirates. Also, keep all the funds and seastone weapons in Yuyan Casino for me. Now my island ship is short of people, money and supplies. Remember, everything in the Sand Crocodile is my trophy. Including you, Nico Robin. Dai Dai said calmly, his tone full of irresistibility, as if full of greed and possessiveness. Crocodile is very familiar with Doflamingo and has many transactions. The Seastone Cage in the Yuyan Casino and a large number of weapons of the rebels were all sold to Sand Crocodile by Doflamingo. And Dai Dai's words made Nico Robin's little heart panic a little. Why should he emphasize her? Is it really that kind of relationship between her and Dai Dai in the future? The island ship Gulosady is approaching Alabasta's largest port city, the Rapeseed City, at full speed. Only this port could barely bring the island ship close to the coast. Nico Robin didn't know how he finally agreed to all Dai Dai's requests. Maybe she was intimidated by Dai Dai's powerful force, or maybe she really had little expectations. Will Dai Dai really be her future partner on whom she can rely on her life? A few days later, the Spider Cafe in Alabasta is the headquarters of Baroque Works. The boss's wife Zala is also the undercover miss of Baroque Company, Limited. She has 2 fingers, Paramecia Thorn Fruit ability, and a bounty of 35 million belly. She accepted the orders from Vice President Miss all Sunday and received chief conductors and executive conductors from all over the country. Mr. 1, Mr. 5 and their partners are the chief conductors. Mr. 6, Mr. 12 and their partners are the executive commanders. Mr. 13, the Sea Otter and Miss Friday, the Vulture, are known as the Unlucky Duo, and are the company's Punisher and Messenger. There are 200 billion elders below, who are subordinates of the chief commander and also candidates to execute the command. There are 1,800 million elders in total, who are the subordinates who execute the command. They were planted in large numbers by Crocodile among the rebels and controlled the rebels to fight against the king's army. This time Nico Robin only summoned the chief conductor and executive conductor, less than 20 people. Except for the cadres who have been captured by the Big Daddy pirates, there are actually not many strong ones left, and in East Blue, 2 have been killed by the Big Daddy pirates. But he should be on the waiting list now. Isn't Mr. 1 here yet? Mr. 2 Shemale Bentham said in a neither androgynous tone while dancing ballet. No, Not even Mr. 3 and Mr. 5's teams are here. They seem to be on some mission. Miss. With 2 fingers, Zala replied casually. If the vice president had not said that there was no need to hide her identity, she would have continued to be an undercover agent. Is the boss Mr. Zero going to appear this time? I heard that the boss has something to do with the heroes of the kingdom. The big fat man in green robe, Mr. 4 Bibu said cautiously, because the devil fruit weapon in his hand, the sausage gun Rasu, seemed to be a rare thing obtained through the 7 warlords of the sea. This gun that ate the dachshund fruit is an extremely rare thing on the market. Stop talking about it. Now the chief commander, there are 4 of us here. I feel like something big is going to happen. An ugly-looking ant said with a little flinch, she is Miss. Merry Christmas, a mole fruit user with a bounty of 14 million Baileys. The 14 executive commanders below were sitting upright in their positions, not daring to make a sound. Below, a girl with blue hair and a middle-aged man with curly hair were a little nervous, waiting for the mastermind to appear. They must find the perpetrators of Alabasta's troubles and make them public to stop the rebels. These 2 people are Miss Wednesday Vivi and Mr. .8 Ikaram. This combination of princess and kingdom guard has been working undercover in Baroque works. At this time, Nico Robin also appeared in the headquarters of this Baroque working society. Looking at these crooked melons and cracked dates, I don't know if Dai Dai can like these guys. You are all gathered together this time to go to the rain banquet to meet our boss. Let's go. Nico Robin said calmly. In fact, on the day after the call with Dai Duo, the Big Daddy pirates had already landed in Alabasta. They went directly to the Rainy Feast Casino in Rainland and took over all the properties of Crocodile. Nico Robin spent a few days gathering the executive commanders of Whiskey Peak and various territorial islands. The boss is indeed 7 warlords of the sea crocodile. Mr. 4 Bibu said softly, Yuyan is the territory of the kingdom hero Crocodile. Who knows this? Now go to Yuyan to meet the boss. Doesn't it mean that Mr. Zero is the sand crocodile? Vivi and Ikaram have also made speculations for a long time, but there has been no evidence. Now they can finally expose the ugly face of this hero. Nico Robin didn't bother to explain when he heard it. Anyway, they would see their new boss soon. She took 4 chief commanders and 14 executive commanders on board the amphibious shuttle Turtle Binky, and went straight from the Spider Cafe to the Rainy Feast Casino in Rainland. At this time, in the Yuyan Casino, the Big Daddy pirates were happily playing, gambling, or packing up Crocodile's property and transporting it back to the island ship, the Gulosiati. Especially these seastone cages and various seastone weapons, rebel weapons, and even saw a lot of dancing powder used to force rainfall. Inside a luxurious office, Dai Dai and his think tank are all sitting here, and Devil Sheriff Lafitte is talking on the phone with a special telephone bug. Mr. Sengoku, 7 warlords of the sea crocodile has been defeated by our captain, and he also used dancing powder to plunder rainwater and attack Alabasta's city with sandstorms in an attempt to usurp the country. If you don't want these scandals to break out, just put our captain on the news as the new 7 warlords of the sea. Lafitte has been fighting with Marshal Sengoku for a while, and his attitude is very sincere. At this moment, he is very much like a negotiator, not a pirate. He roped in several crew members and successfully convinced Dai Dai to first seize the position of 7 warlords of the sea and develop and consolidate the power of the Big Daddy pirates. In addition to the more intelligent crew members such as Crow, Finoka, and Poison Q, Lafitte even persuaded female crew members such as Desire and Nami to help persuade Dai Dui. Only now are the results of the negotiations with Marshal Marine achieved. We will send people to investigate the matter of Crocodile, but if your Big Daddy pirates want to become the 7 warlords of the sea, in addition to handing Crocodile to Marine, you must also destroy 2 more pirates with a bounty of over 100 million. Group. Of course, if you can kill more than 10 pirate groups under the Golden Lion, I can also specially approve you to become 7 warlords of the sea. Buddha Sengoku's voice came from the phone bug, and his words were full of calculations. He knew that Golden Lion Shiki was now hunting the Big Daddy pirates. Dai Dai can defeat Crocodile, which shows that his strength is good. If the Big Daddy pirates can be fooled into colliding with Golden Lion Shiki's forces, this will also be of great benefit to Marine. If the Big Daddy pirates are killed by Golden Lion Shiki, then the position of 7 warlords of the sea does not need to be stacked. However, if Dai Dai can really survive the Golden Lion's encirclement and suppression, he can still kill more than 10 pirate groups. Then it seems good to let Dai Dai become the 7 warlords of the sea and continue to fight against the Golden Lion Shiki. Let these 2 pirate groups completely clash with each other, dog bites dog. Marine can even provide a little help to the Big Daddy pirates in their fight against the Golden Lion Shiki. Crocodile. I will never give it to you. However, if you give me the location of the 7 warlords of the sea, I can handle all the affiliated pirate groups of the Thieves' Chief Association under Golden Lion Shiki for you, Marine. If you don't agree, then there's no need to talk. Under Lafayette's questioning look, Dai took the phone directly, and then said coldly to Buddha Sengoku. After hearing what Dadier Babaya said, Buddha Sengoku on the other side of the phone was silent for a moment. The new king of East Blue is indeed very rampant. How dare you talk to him, the Marine Marshal, with such an attitude? However, Dai was able to defeat Crocodile at such a young age, so he did have some arrogance. Haha, kid, you're so arrogant. However, since you have so much confidence in yourself, kill at least 2 affiliated pirate groups of Golden Lion Shiki every month in the first year. Then this position of 7 warlords of the sea can be handed over to you in advance. How about it? Do you dare to accept this condition? Buddha's Sengoku was not angry when facing the arrogant Dai Babaya. Instead, he chuckled and used Dai's arrogance to provoke him. Killing more than 2 pirate groups affiliated with Golden Lion every month, and more than 24 pirate groups will be killed in the first year, which is already more than half of the pirate groups affiliated with the Thieves' Chief Guild. This is the kind of thing that puts the Big Daddy pirates on fire, forcing Dai Duo and Golden Lion Shiki to completely confront each other, and they will fight to the death. Although Crocodile cannot be imprisoned and impelled down, it is still good business to have a powerful rookie king who can help deal with Golden Lion Shiki, a veteran pirate. After all, these 7 warlords of the sea are all old fools who do nothing to help others. They only enjoy the benefits but do not help deal with these powerful pirate groups. As long as it wasn't forced recruitment by the world government, they wouldn't bother to move. I agreed. Dai thought for a moment and agreed to Buddha Sengoku's harsh conditions. Anyway, he was already surrounded by the Golden Lion Shiki, and he didn't care if he offended him more harshly and killed half of his affiliated pirate group in 1 year. Moreover, he can also use Marine's power to obtain various intelligence, and even trick Sengoku into hunting Golden Lion Shiki together. Very good. You guys, after you can hunt down 2 affiliated pirate groups of the Thieves' Chief Association this month, the news that you have become the 7 warlords of the sea will be made public on the sea. Now, please send us a photo of Crocodile, by the way. We want to make sure that he was indeed defeated at your hands and did not escape. Finally, you have to promise us that you will never let him go. Of course, it's best for you to hand him over to us in exchange for the bounty. Buddha's Sengoku is basically certain that Dai defeated Crocodile, because he didn't think that sand crocodile would accidentally throw it away or give it to others because of this exclusive 7 warlords of the sea phone bug. However, Sengoku still had to confirm again, and even sent someone to Alabasta to collect evidence. Don't want Crocodile, I agree to all the other conditions. Dai said coldly, hung up the phone, and asked Lafitte to fax the photos of Crocodile's detention to Naval Headquarters. Did you hear everything? This month we are going to kill 2 pirate groups affiliated with the Thieves' Chief Guild. Dai Dewey said to the crew members such as Van Oka, Crow, and Poison Q that with the identity of 7 warlords of the sea, he would be able to develop unscrupulously in the first half of the Grand Line. It's time for those supernovas of the worst era who are about to enter the Grand Line to make their debut. As this year's rookie king, and the one who is about to take over the position of 7 warlords of the sea, is it not too much to hunt and suppress next year's supernovas? As long as he can conquer more than half of the supernovas, his Big Daddy pirates will be able to enter the New World and occupy a place. Moreover, Blackbeard Teach will also escape back to the Grand Line after eating dark fruit. What a tool man. This is a tool man more important than Munch Fruitwapple. He must find a way to take him down. Although Blackbeard Teach is very powerful, he is still a person and a fugitive from the Whitebeard pirates. Whether it's a conspiracy or a conspiracy, Dai will find a way to take down Blackbeard. Moreover, Blackbeard is also a demon fruit power. As long as he dares to sail on the sea alone, Dai will have a way to defeat him. Understood. Within a week, we can find 2 targets and kill them. Beiji Crow held up his glasses with the palm of his hand and spoke with confidence. It seemed that he had already got some information about the pirate group affiliated to the Thief Leader Association. Do not disappoint me. Dai said calmly. Every crew member must play his role. The Big Daddy pirates don't care for idlers. Even if it is a vase, she must look good looking, smooth, making it pleasing to Dai's eyes. After dispatching these subordinates, Dai Dui closed his eyes and rested on the leather sofa in the gorgeous office, thinking about his next target. Nico Robin should also be back as the chief conductor and executive conductor of the Baroque Working Society, right? The Princess of Alabasta, Nefeltari Vivi, seems to have gone undercover in Baroque works. Dai Dai saw the photo of this blue-haired woman on the list. What to do with this little guy? At this time, the slippery girl Desire and the smooth girl Sweetheart Queen came in with food and wine, and came to enjoy a meal of wormwood, glutinous rice cake and apple pie with Dai Dai. They just eat this kind of wormwood, flavored food, and Dai Dai also likes the smooth and tender delicacies of these two flavors. I wonder what those orange and red pepper flavored delicacies will taste like in the future. In the afternoon, Dai Dai came out of his luxurious office refreshed and rushed to the conference room. At this time, in the conference room of Yuyan Casino, the chief conductor and executive conductors of the Baroque Working Society were nervously waiting for Mr. Zero to appear. They have basically determined that the boss must be the hero of the kingdom, 7 warlords of the sea, crocodile. At this time, the 4 chief conductors, Mr. 3, Mr. 5, Miss Golden Week, and Miss Valentine, walked into the conference room with their heads held high, and then at the door, they put one hand on their chests and bent down to greet their new boss respectfully. Field. Following the exciting music of hypnosis teacher Zhangao, Dai Dai strode into the conference room like a gambling god. Then Zoro, Poison Q, Van Oka, and Lafitte entered the scene one after another. The people in Baroque works were completely stunned. Is this guy their boss? What about the promised 7 warlords of the sea? Isn't this Rainy Banquet Casino Crocodile's territory? Where did this young man come from? Where has Crocodile, the hero of the kingdom, gone? His territory is occupied. Princess Vivi and Ikaram also looked at this young man in disbelief. This was not the crocodile they had guessed at all. Boss, you're here. Nico Robin, the vice president of Baroque Works, saluted the man with a little respect, just like Mr. 3 and the others. Is this young man really the boss of Baroque Works? Seeing the vice president salute, all the chief commanders and executive commanders shouted in their hearts, completely unable to believe this fact. Dai Dai sat on the main seat with a calm expression and glanced at the chief commander and executive commander. Spicy chicken, still spicy chicken. There are simply not a few that are worth looking at. Ha ha ha. What the hell are you talking about? Are you the most powerful criminal organization in the Grand Line? A bunch of hot chicks. Fighting champion Giza's badges shouted carelessly. His words made the 4 Mr. 3 people behind him a little embarrassed, but they did not dare to refute. Who are you? A rude guy with a bounty of 20 million belly. Bentham, the transvestite with a bounty of 32 million baileys, immediately said angrily that Baroque Works is where he works after all. How could he be looked down upon by others like this? It's a one-on-one challenge. Come on. Hit me, come on. Do you think I'm holding you in my arms? Have you ever seen a boatload of dead people? Have you ever seen an island of dead people? Damn shemale, have you ever seen a fist as big as a castle? The real man Badgers immediately challenged Bentham, especially when he saw the man with heavy makeup on his face. He became even more unhappy. On the side, the pirate hunter Zoro's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that this idiot Badgers actually learned a few powerful gossips from him. However, although the momentum is enough, it seems a bit vulgar, and it is still not as cool and handsome as when he reads poetry. You. The shemale Bentham gritted his teeth and looked at the rude man Badgers, and then looked at the new boss Dai Dai and Nico Robin the vice president, as if he wanted to get permission from these 2 people to teach this rude man a lesson. Then go have a fight. Dai Dai waved his hand casually, and a huge barrier cage trapped Badgers and Bentham, and then threw them to the side of the conference room, smashing many tables and chairs. This made the little thieving cat Nami glare at Dai Dai angrily. This is too wasteful. How much money will be wasted buying these new tables and chairs in the future? Badgers and Bentham immediately entered the duel cage and started fighting fiercely, but Dai Dai did not continue to pay attention to them. Instead, he continued to look at these trembling chief commanders and executive commanders. Those with thorn fruit abilities, you are qualified to board my ship. The remaining people will continue to stay in the work club and collect information for me. From now on, Baroque Work Company will be changed to Big Daddy Work Company, Limited. Dai Dai said calmly. Apart from things like gathering intelligence, he didn't expect these hot chicks to defeat any pirate groups. Yes. Boss. Miss. Had 2 fingers, Mr. 4 and Miss. Merry Christmas, and these executive commanders immediately shouted, not daring to resist at all. Just when they thought the arrangement was over, Dai Dai announced something else, which made these people confused. Miss Wednesday, I announce that you have been promoted. From now on, you will be the office secretary of Big Dad Works. Dai Dai suddenly shouted to a blue-haired girl who was in command, which immediately made Mr. 8, the captain of the kingdom's guard, nervous. He was shocked. Could it be that their undercover identities were exposed? Or is it the boss behind the scenes who has fallen in love with Princess Vivi's beauty? Nico Robin looked at Dai Dai with a smile. She already knew the true identity of Princess Vivi, but she was sure that this was the first time Dai Dai saw Princess Vivi. As expected, this man knew something about the future, so he could recognize Princess Vivi's undercover identity at a glance. Boss, Miss Wednesday, she. Mr. 8 Ikaram wanted to resist, but was interrupted by Princess Vivi's eyes. She wanted to lurk next to this new boss and continue to find out all the facts. Moreover, Dai Dai waved his hand in boredom and asked all the people in the work club to leave. Mr. 4 and Miss Merry Christmas and the executive commanders immediately dragged Mr. 8 Ikaram out of the conference room. For subsequent tasks, the vice president will give them orders. Seeing that nothing happened, Zoro took the lead and left, going back to continue practicing. Crow and the others also began to plan to take action against the pirate group affiliated with the Thieves' Chief Association, and left with the cadres. Soon, Badgers and Bentham also left the meeting room bruised and bruised, with no outcome in sight for the time being. Because Dai Dai didn't have so much time for them to waste, he asked them to fight after they went out. The smooth girl Desire and the smooth girl Sweetheart Queen were still lying in the office and resting softly, so they had no time to pay attention to Dai Dai's matter for the time being. In the conference room, only Nico Robin, Princess Vivi, and the little thief cat Nami, who looked wary, were left. Princess Vivi, right? Dai Dai was sitting casually on the main seat and suddenly said casually. This sentence made Princess Vivi, the undercover agent, instantly confused. Nami also looked at Vivi in surprise. The girl from this criminal organization is actually a princess? Nico Robin showed an expression that was indeed true. Who are you? The person behind Baroque Works, shouldn't it be Crocodile? Vivi backed away slowly with a look of fear on her face. What happened today was beyond all her expectations. Crocodile, I have defeated you. And I will be the next 7 warlords of the sea. Now everything in the Sand Crocodile is my trophy, including you, Miss Wednesday. Dai Dai chuckled lightly and said that now the future of Alabasta has changed from a sand crocodile to being in Dai Dai's hands. The dancing fans in the Yuyan Casino warehouse can still plunder the country's rainwater. I don't know where Crocodile got these banned items. After using this dancing powder, although it will cause rain in your own city, a severe drought will occur in neighboring countries and neighboring cities living downwind. This thing seems to be a rain-calling powder, invented by a country where it doesn't rain. It was because of the dancing powder incident that a fierce war broke out between 2 large countries. Later, the world government completely banned the manufacture and possession of dancing powder. You actually defeated Crocodile. Princess Vivi couldn't believe the news. The powerful 7 warlords of the sea were defeated silently by the new king of East Blue. Of course, she, the executive director of the Baroque Working Group, also knew about the information about the Big Daddy pirates. She really didn't expect that Dai Dai, the new king, would be able to defeat Crocodile, the king of the desert. Then can you stop the war in Alabasta? Give the rain back to the cities. Princess Vivi immediately changed from fear and vigilance to looking at the young newcomer with a bit of pleading. Although she knew the hope was slim, she had no other choice. She might not even be able to leave the conference room. After revealing her identity as the princess of the kingdom, she has fallen into a very dangerous position. It's useless to ask for help. What's important is to bring your own chips and value. Dai Dai said coldly that he had no obligation to rescue Alabasta, and he did not want to worry about the rebel army for the time being, unless this descendant of one of the 20 kings could come up with something that satisfied Dai Dai. Hearing Dai Dai's words, Princess Vivi looked at the man a little at a loss. Chips and value? What does this pirate want from Alabasta? The throne? Wealth? She suddenly remembered the office secretary position she had just been promoted to. Does he want it himself? Thinking of this, Princess Vivi turned pale. Although Dai Dai looks handsome and very strong, he really surprised himself when he first appeared on the stage. But after all, the other party is a pirate, and she is a royal princess, so they are not suitable at all. However, she is willing to sacrifice herself for the sake of all the citizens of Alabasta. Now more than 1 million rebel troops in cities across the country are converging on the capital Albana, while only 600,000 royal troops are guarding the capital. If there were a fight, all the people who would die would be Alabasta's own citizens. Thinking of this, Princess Vivi felt very distressed. She glanced at Dai Dai and suddenly became determined. If this man could rescue Alabasta, it wouldn't be impossible to sacrifice herself to serve the tiger. I am willing to be loyal to you for the rest of my life and can do anything for you. Please stop the rebels. Princess Vivi was no longer afraid and nervous, but looked at Dai Dai expectantly. She even adjusted her posture slightly to show her most beautiful side in front of Dai Dai. You are too weak. When you are a vase, you can barely reach the qualifying level. If I trade you for a kingdom, you seem to have overestimated yourself. Dai Dai's ruthless words instantly hit Vivi, who had made a major decision, and even the orange girl Nami next to her accidentally laughed. Just now she was frowning at Princess Vivi's flirting, but she didn't expect that Princess Vivi would be slapped in the face by Dai Dui the next moment. Nico Robin also covered her mouth and chuckled. Now she has entered the royal tomb and obtained the content of the historical text, temporarily losing her target. The original boss of Crocodile has also been defeated by Dai Dai, and now she has joined the camp of the Big Daddy Pirates. But if something happens against her wishes, she will still find an opportunity to leave this force. Anyway, after so many years, she has become accustomed to betrayal. However, Dai Dai seemed to be more mysterious, powerful, wise, rational, and, of course, cold-blooded and cruel than every previous boss. Then what do you want from me? Half a frame of tears overflowed from Princess Vivi's eyes. She endured the humiliation and blow, and asked stubbornly with a little choked up. Go ahead. Do a good job as your office secretary. As for the resistance, I look at the interests in my mood. Dai Dai's expression changed from cold to casual, and he said to the blue-haired girl. The taste of blueberries should be no worse than that of oranges, but they need to be a little ripe before you can taste them. I will work hard to complete my work, and I will also ask my father to give me 1 billion belly as reward. I hope you can personally take action to stop this war. Princess Vivi immediately replied that she still had hope. If Dai Dai could really become the new 7 warlords of the sea, with so many subordinates, the war would definitely be prevented. From now on, just follow Robin. I will take care of the other things. Dai Dai ignored the billions of dollars and casually left the princess of the kingdom to Nico Robin for training. Anyway, it wasn't time to eat this unripe blueberry yet, so don't take it too seriously. If only Robin's bunch of ripe and moist purple grapes were fine. Seeing Robin leaving with Princess Vivi, Dai Dai and the little cat Nami were left in the conference room. Nami, prepare the information and permanent pointer on Gaia Island. After completing the mission of 7 warlords of the sea, we will set off. Dai Duo spoke softly to Nami, who was getting more and more mature. His tone was a little less cold. The fruity smell exuding from this orange was becoming more and more attractive. Clear. Nami answered briskly with a lively taste, but her eyes began to wander a little. Captain, actually, I was not very satisfied with the gift you gave me when I celebrated my 17th birthday. Seeing that there was no one in the conference room, Nami said a little coquettishly, and read the word 17 years old very carefully. You must know that in this world, 17 years old is an adult. Many passionate young people choose to go to sea at the age of 17, and then more than half of the stupid young pirates end up in the sea. However, this still cannot stop these passionate young people from going out to sea to pursue the great secret treasure left by Roger, the Pirate King. The oranges are not yet ripe. Nami still needs to work hard. Dai Dai suddenly laughed, and then he bounced a gold coin high with his thumb. With this crisp sound, he threw it in the air. Following Nami's gaze, it fell into a ravine. Then he left the meeting with a big smile. Room. I wonder if the lubrication duo have had enough rest now. Damn Dai Dai. I hate you. Orange girl Nami took out the gold coin with the warmth of Dai Dai from her 4th-dimensional gap, and shouted to Dai Dai with gritted teeth. However, Nami soon calmed down after seeing a few words on the gold coins. You know what's going on. Humph. Nami also held the gold coin tightly, skipped out of the meeting room, and then went to her exclusive navigation studio to complete the task Dai Dai had just ordered. The Big Daddy Pirates are temporarily stationed in Alabasta, and all the officers and crew are sharpening their eyes on the pirate group affiliated with the Thieves' Chief Association under Golden Lion Shiki. Nico Robin became the head of Big Daddy Works and immediately began to rectify the situation to supplement the missing chief conductor and executive conductor. Because the members with a little bit of strength were all transferred by Dai Dai to the island ship Gulu Oseyati for construction and combat strength replenishment. This island ship is the current absolute base camp of the Big Daddy Pirates. After all, Alabasta is a country that has joined the world government, and it is also a kingdom descended from 20 kings. Dai Dai will not go to that trouble to occupy this barren desert country. The Big Daddy Pirates will leave here sooner or later. In the coming year, Dai Dai plans to occupy the Twin Capes as 7 warlords of the sea. Dai Dai wants to see if any new supernova can escape his clutches. Before that, let's kill several affiliated pirate groups of the Thieves' Chief Guild to become the 7 warlords of the sea. Then go to Sky Island, kill this Logia Thunder Fruit ability user, and occupy Sky Island. Then, as long as they can withstand the revenge of Golden Lion Shiki, the Big Daddy Pirates can become one of the truly great forces, with the status of the 4 emperors and the king of pirates. Captain Dai Dai, the shadow of the pirate group affiliated with the Golden Lion, has appeared in the waters of Banero Island. In just 2 days, the people of the Big Daddy Pirates have found traces of Golden Lion Shiki's forces. What surprised Dai Dai the most was that the forces of the underground Dark Emperor seemed to be opening the door for the Big Daddy Pirates. I don't know if it was naval headquarters that gave Stussy, the Mission Impossible, the strength. The underground world seems to want to see this newcomer king pirate group collide with the Golden Lion Shiki, an unruly remnant of the era. The waters of Banero Island. Today, artillery fire roared on the sea. The 3 pirate groups of the Pirate Chief Association under Golden Lion Shiki were performing their missions at the flying headquarters when they were suddenly violently attacked by the Big Daddy Pirates. The huge island ship Gulosiati, together with the dreadnought battleship Saber and the large diving surprise sailing ship White Iron King, completely surrounded these 3 pirate groups. In particular, the super cannon of the Gulosiati was so powerful that it sank a pirate ship with one shot and exploded it into pieces of wood that filled the sky. According to one of the conditions of Buddha's Sengoku, this time the battle between Big Daddy's pirates and Golden Lion Shiki's pirates must be clear and massive. In addition to forcing the Big Daddy Pirates and the Golden Lion Shiki to completely confront each other, this will also establish the reputation and intimidation of the new 7 warlords of the sea. But Buddha's Sengoku refused to increase Dai Dai's deterrence by increasing the bounty before Dai Dai became 7 warlords of the sea. This leads to Dai Dai and his crew, whose bounty hasn't changed in a long time. In fact, Buddha Sengoku has a second level of calculation. He hopes that the Big Daddy Pirates will obtain the position of 7 warlords of the sea with a lower bounty, and then more Aozo pirates will challenge them. In this way, the Big Daddy Pirates can be used as a weapon to help the world government clean up more pirate groups. Nowadays, most of the 7 warlords of the sea are veterans and have become increasingly disobedient. Their reputation has long been established, resulting in the fact that the number of pirate groups eliminated by the 7 warlords of the sea is very small. Therefore, the fresh blood of the Big Daddy Pirates must be used more, and let him destroy more pirate groups. Mission completed. On the Gulosiati, Beiji Kella and Otonokoshi Van Oka looked at the burning pirate ships and showed a faint smile. Then tomorrow, Captain Dai Dai will be the 7 warlords of the sea. Devil Sheriff Lafitte smiled with satisfaction. In the next time, the Big Daddy Pirates will not be hunted down and suppressed by Marine. Their only enemy in the Grand Line is Golden Lion Shiki. All this is destined by fate. Shinigami Dukyu said sickly. He knew that people with destiny would definitely rise in the shortest time. Captain Dai Dai has only been at sea for half a year, and he has already squeezed into the 7 warlords of the sea, one of the 3 major organizational forces. And Dai Diezi is not here. His growing ambitions and haki are expected to awaken Conqueror's haki soon. The location of 7 warlords of the sea should not last more than 2 years. And Golden Lion Shiki is the Big Daddy Pirate's biggest challenge right now. As long as he crosses the threshold of the legendary pirate Golden Lion Shiki, Captain Dai Dai will surely become the next legend. Poison Q believes in his choice. Dai Dai will not fall here with Golden Lion Shiki. He also firmly believes that Dai Dai is the man of destiny. Return. Dai Do stood aboard the Gulosiati and gave the order directly without any expression. He did not take any action in this battle, and his men had already solved the 3 pirate groups. It's as simple as taking care of a few kittens and puppies. Next, just be prepared for Golden Lion Shiki's revenge. Some agents, reporters, and intelligence personnel from various forces on Banero Island reported back on the fighting situation here. The combat prowess of each cadre of the Big Daddy Pirates and this huge island ship with good performance were quickly exposed to Marine and world forces. Even Buddha's Sengoku only now knows that the Big Daddy pirates have developed to this extent. Dai Dai is hiding well. This made Sengoku feel that Dadie Babaya, a new pirate, not only had strong fighting power, he also had a good castle and ambition. However, now that the conditions have been met, let Dai Dai become the 7 warlords of the sea and a fierce dog against the golden lion Shiki. I just don't know if Dai Dai, the new king, can survive in the hands of Shiki, the old lion. Naval headquarters doesn't want to replace 7 warlords of the sea so soon. The next day, the World Economic News devoted a full page to announcing the news that Dai Dai became the new 7 warlords of the sea on the newspaper headlines. Moreover, the news that the original 7 warlords of the sea crocodile fell at the hands of Dai Dai was also exposed. However, because the Economic News Agency did not obtain detailed information, Morgans made up the story himself with a bad smile. Through his imagination, he fabricated a report about how Dai Dai fought the fierce battle with the sand crocodile. Finally, and most importantly, Morgans also reported in newspapers the fact that the Big Daddy pirates had wiped out the 3 pirates who had joined the pirate group under the Golden Lion Shiki's Pirate Chief Association. This will completely spark the hatred between the 2 pirate groups. Morgans also received generous additional, retouching fees from world government. In the newspaper, he cryptically stated many times that Dai Dai, the newcomer Wang Fang, had promised to challenge Golden Lion Shiki, the useless remnant of the era. The newspaper quickly spread throughout the world, the Grand Line and the New World. Not only was Golden Lion Shiki furious when he saw it, but even Dai Dui's face became extremely cold after taking a look. As expected, Morgans is a newsman who is not even afraid of the world government for Boruto's attention. Now this little rumor is just to offend Golden Lion Shiki, a remnant, and Dai Dai, a newcomer, and it is completely within his tolerance. However, Morgans quickly changed the location of his headquarters to avoid being approached by Golden Lion Shiki for revenge. After all, Lion Fruit's ability is not limited. Even if his Economic News Agency headquarters could move by flight, there would still be some risk of being exposed. However, Morgans was just being cautious. After all, under his report, a war will definitely break out between Golden Lion Shiki and Big Daddy Babaya, and there is no time to pay attention to this garrulous birdman. New World Dressrosa. Foo, I didn't expect that bastard sand crocodile. He actually fell into the hands of this brat. He is really a waste. The king of intermediaries in the underground dark world, Doflamingo held the newspaper and said a little unhappily, with a few veins popping out on his forehead. The more he read the newspaper, the more angry he became. His big client seemed doomed. So who are the batches of weapons that Crocodile ordered for Alabasta's million-strong rebel army, and those dancing fans, who are the Don Quixote family going to sell to? There is no shortage of buyers for those seastone products. Even if Crocodile doesn't want them, Doflamingo still has a lot of customers. But it was difficult for him to get rid of these low-level weapons given to the rebels, and there were still so many of them. The most important thing is that after the fall of the bastard sand crocodile, he still has not recovered part of the arms balance. No, this loss cannot be borne by the Don Quixote family. As the successor of the sand crocodile, Big Daddy Babaya, the new 7 warlords of the sea, has the obligation to eat these low-level weapons. Doflamingo smiled sinisterly, and the wild laughter echoed in the king's heights, full of oppression. The news of Crocodile's downfall did not attract much attention from the 4 emperors, as there was little conflict of interest between them. On the contrary, the members of 7 warlords of the sea paid a little attention, but still didn't take it too seriously. After all, the 7 warlords of the sea who were defeated by the newcomers were nothing worth paying attention to. This can only be blamed on Crocodile himself for being rubbish. And on a group of islands in the sky somewhere in the Grand Line. Golden Lion Shiki looked extremely ugly. The Big Daddy pirates provoked them again and again. Not only did they destroy his recruitment of the Thief Leaders Association, but they also killed his staff. Now there are several pirate groups who have joined the pirate group and have been killed by the Big Daddy pirate group. This made some captains of the affiliated pirate groups waver a little towards Golden Lion Shiki. Is Golden Lion Shiki really old? Are the remnants of this era really only known as legendary pirates? Originally, these pirates joined the Sky Pirates just because they wanted to take over, but unexpectedly, the Big Daddy pirates killed 4 or 5 of the pirates who joined, and there was still no movement in Golden Lion Shiki. This made some pirate captains consider whether they should be ready to run away. I feel that it is much better to join the current 4 emperors than to follow this old lion. However, among these pirate groups, there are many crooks, and there are not many captains with bounties exceeding 100 million. Most of them are middle and low-level pirate groups who hang out in the Grand Line Park. Some pirate groups don't even have the guts to enter the New World. When they heard in the Grand Line that the legendary pirate Golden Lion Shiki was recruiting subordinates, they were so eager to embrace him. Now it is discovered that Golden Lion Shiki does not have a thigh hug at all. More than 20 years ago, Golden Lion Shiki fought with the Roger pirates and had a rudder inserted into his head. Now he often misunderstands people and even broke 2 legs while escaping impelled down. Now this legendary pirate's strength feels like it's gone, and even hockey can't use it. Indigo, find me the location of Dadier Babaya immediately. Lousy will kill him personally. Golden Lion Shiki had a rare moment of normalcy and did not recognize the wrong person. He shouted angrily at his ship's doctor and deputy, Dr. Indigo. He must let the pirates of the new era know what a real pirate is. Pirates are not playing house. Pirates don't want to be dogs of the world government. He knew that after the Big Daddy pirates became the 7 warlords of the sea, their murderous intent became even more intense. Understood. Captain. Dr. Indigo agreed with a serious face, and then immediately mobilized all affiliated pirate groups of the Pirate Chiefs Association under his command to find the precise whereabouts of the Big Daddy pirates. Because the forces in the underground dark world seemed to be a little reluctant to cooperate with the Sky Pirates, causing some problems with their intelligence. So they could only send out all their pirate groups. They only knew that the Big Daddy pirates had killed 3 of their pirate groups in the waters off Bonero Island the day before. It still takes time to search. However, Golden Lion Shiki's Lion King floating island is also approaching this sea area, preparing to seek revenge on the Big Daddy pirates. At this time, the Big Daddy pirates were inside Alabasta and successfully suppressed these rebels because there were a large number of undercover agents from the original Baroque Works Company inside. These people are now taken over by Big Daddy Works. With these undercover agents and Princess Vivi's confession of Crocodile's crimes, many rebels have begun to surrender. Only some of the power-hungry resistance generals were still resisting, but they were all killed by the Big Daddy pirates. After solving the rebellion in Alabasta, the Big Daddy pirates quickly left the country, which was not suitable for them to be their territory. A few days later on the Guloside, I didn't expect you would really help this country. Is it because of Princess Vivi? Nico Robin chuckled at Dai Dai and said, this time Dai Dai is going to Gaia Island and Sky Island. He said that there are historical texts on Sky Island, so Nico Robin also left Alabasta and boarded the island ship. It had to be said that the advanced level of this island ship had surpassed many pirate ships and was completely beyond her imagination. Are you teaching me how to do things? Dai Dai was not interested in delving further into this topic. He just said it lightly and then started his own intensive training. He didn't bother to talk about Princess Vivi and his study of wind instruments, because at that time he had already seen eyes and ears made of certain flower petals. The key is the bunch of purple grapes, which is very interesting to see. Even the sinister Nico Robin is a bit difficult to answer. Everyone seems to know it well, and it will be bad if he speaks out. Sure enough, as an older woman, I still can't compete with these young beauties. She took a look at her skin. She had indeed been tanned a lot in the desert country of Alabasta all year round. It seemed like she needed to whiten it. This captain has a different kind of patience with beauties, especially capable beauties. Crocodile and Mr. One Daz Bonus are still locked in the seastone cell of the island ship and have refused to surrender. Crocodile also didn't expect that the seastone cage he bought from Doflamingo at a high price would become the prison where he was imprisoned. This is really ironic. This guy is very proud. Even though he has been locked up and tortured in the seastone water prison, he still has no intention of bowing his head. Dai Dai didn't continue to worry about this matter, just keep it closed. Some people have such personalities that they will never bow their heads throughout their lives, and Dai Dai will not force it. By the time he acquires the technology to recover Devil Fruit's ability and captures Blackbeard, if Sand Crocodile hasn't surrendered yet, then it will be his death. The next target is Enel, the Thunder Fruit user. This guy has been a god on Sky Island for so long. He is more arrogant and will probably be difficult to conquer. He is even harder to communicate with than Sand Crocodile. Dai Dai now wants to get the technology to recover Devil Fruit, so these 2 powerful Logia abilities can become the strength of the Big Daddy pirates. However, I still have to give it a try now. Even if I can't conquer Enel, I still have to catch him first, steal his Ark's proverbs and get the gold from Sky Island. Recently, he has been asking Beiji Crow and Lafitte to pay attention to the intelligence of the Whitebeard pirates. Now the captain of the 4th team, Saki, is not dead yet. It means that dark fruit has not been obtained by Saki yet, which makes Dai Dai think a lot. Do you want to enter the new world and try your luck in the territory of the Whitebeard pirates? However, Dai Dai's current status as 7 warlords of the sea is very sensitive. If the 4 Emperor's Whitebeard pirates find out that the Big Daddy pirates have entered their territory, Dai Dai will probably be beaten into scum. So this idea was quickly killed by Dai Dai. If someone were sent to secretly enter the new world to search for dark fruit in Whitebeard's territory, but without Dai Dai's strength, the other crew members would enter the new world now. They would probably go in just to deliver food, and they would be destroyed by others in minutes. Moreover, all Nika fruits have consciousness. Who knows if dark fruit, which restrains all fruits, has consciousness? In case, not only Blackbeard Teach is waiting for dark fruit, but dark fruit's consciousness is also looking for Teach, a member of the Dark D family. Knowing Teach's desire for dark fruit, his willpower is probably beyond the limit. The devil fruit ability happens to appear out of human desires and desires. Who knows, these D-clansmen can all have some connection with these rare devil fruit abilities. Nika fruit, dark fruit, op fruit, these rare devil fruit abilities are all by chance and cleverly eaten by Luffy, Teach, Luo and other D-clan. The first batch of devil fruit recipients refused to eat the devil fruit after they got it. It was so strange. Dai Dai didn't want to think about these coincidences anymore. Anyway, Blackbeard Teach will return to the Grand Line sooner or later with the dark fruit ability to gather his partners. At that time, Dai Dai must kill this conceited and persevering dreamer, careerist, Voldemort, and real pirate. During the intense training of the crew of the Big Daddy Pirates, the Guro Sayadi approached the island of Gaia Island. Fighting champion Giza's Badges was the first to rush to the island excitedly, ready to start fighting and plant flags to occupy the island. Now this island is a pirate island. No one cares about it. Whoever has a bigger fist can run rampant in the town of Magic Valley. The strongest pirate group on the island right now is the Bellamy Pirates. Hyena Bellamy, with a bounty of 55 million Baileys, and Paramecia, a spring fruit user, are one of the peripheral forces under the Don Quixote family. As soon as the Big Daddy Pirates island ship appeared on the sea, it caused a commotion on Gaia Island. Even Bellamy, who was used to being unscrupulous, felt strong pressure. After all, he was facing the same 7 warlords of the sea as his boss Doflamingo. Although he is the new Shichibukai who has just taken office a few days ago, he must be very powerful if he can be recognized by the world government. Waihaha. From now on, our Big Daddy Pirates will claim this island. As soon as Badges entered the Magic Valley town, the central town of Gaia Island, he declared his sovereignty unscrupulously, which immediately aroused the resentment of a large number of pirates. Why is this pirate island occupied by the Big Daddy Pirates? Moreover, there are chess pieces planted by various forces, involving various underground dark forces and various underworld organizations. Even the 7 warlords of the Sea Doflamingo has a foothold here. From now on, those who pay us protection fees within half an hour can stay. Otherwise, the pirates who stay here without authorization will become our enemies. Seeing the noisy pirates, Sonic Edrag's rich and loud voice almost spread throughout the entire Demon Valley town. The Big Daddy Pirates directly declared war on all pirate groups and various organizations on Gaia Island. Either take the money or take your life. F*K the protection money. There are so many of us, let's kill them. That's right. A trashy newcomer just joined the 7 warlords of the sea, kill him. Kill him. Just a new king with a bounty of 100 million. Let him become the 7 warlords of the sea with the shortest time. Steal him. The trash from East Blue, how rampant. A large number of pirates, under the heckles of some thorny heads, became more and more violent, and they all looked at the Big Daddy Pirates menacingly. The warning has been given. Then start killing. Dai Dai ordered expressionlessly, and Nico Robin, the former cadres of the Baroque Works Company standing behind him, finally understood why the Big Daddy Pirates had so many massacres. Even when facing so many pirates, his attitude is still so arrogant. Waihaha. Let's fight. Fighting champion Badgers took the lead in charging and rushed into the pirate group in an instant, while Sonic Ed Drago also immediately lit up his mouth and charged up his power to fire. Pirate Hunter Zoro also rushed in with his sword drawn. He saw several pirates worth 50 to 60 million belly, and he could verify the tricks he had recently studied. And Otonoko Van Oka stabbed the heads of several of the most aggressive pirates and sent them to the west to chant sutras one by one. Whirlwind Elric's Windblade appeared quietly and shot into the crowd, causing blood to splash everywhere. The ghost man akin waved the iron crutch and the steel bear and ran directly into the pirates in the red light. You guys go too. With a flick of his finger, Dai made Mr. Bomb Man 5, Candle Man Mr. 3, and Shemale Bentham enter the scene to fight. Do we need to take action, Captain? Nico Robin asked with a smile on his face. Now that even men like Beiji Crow, Lafitte, and Poison Q have not come to an end, there is no reason for women like them to take action first, right? Go. Dai said lightly, and the slippery girl Desea had already killed with a long knife recast from the fragments of the 7-star sword and the memory alloy. Meteor Pulp Mountain. Queen Sweetheart's hands turned into paste. She turned to the sky and fired huge balls of paste at the pirates in the distance. The balls of paste fell to the ground and splashed out, sticking to more pirates, restricting their movements. Big Daddy, Baba, is that so? Queen Runu, Sweetheart Queen, looked at Dai proudly, and then said coquettishly that this was a trick developed for her by her man. It's okay. It would be better if we could make the setting time faster and increase the viscosity strength. Dai said expressionlessly, you're dead. This woman actually called him by this name in such a tone in front of outsiders. She was in need of a lesson. This would completely break his aloof image. It must be educated. Sure enough, when Queen Sweetheart spoke, Beiji Crow, Lafitte, and Poison Q immediately flashed into the battlefield, not wanting to stay by Dai's side to show off and paddle. Then I'll join the fight too. 6-wheel flower twist roll. Nico Robin said with a half smile, and saw arms appearing on some pirates in the distance, twisting them alive. Women such as Thorn Girl Zala and Umbrella Girl Michita also joined the battlefield one after another to participate in this massacre that was rich in the characteristics of the Big Daddy pirates. Otonokoshi Van Oka is also interested in protecting these crew members and providing his own distant support. His knowledge is getting stronger and stronger, and the area he covers is getting larger and larger. Dai is also taking charge of the overall situation to see if there are any pirates worthy of his own action, and at the same time, he is also preventing Lao Lu from sneaking attacks. At this time, a flea-like figure was jumping around, quickly approaching Dai's position. Captain Dai, our boss is Doflamingo, a 7 warlords of the sea like you. I hope you will give us some face. Hyena Bellamy, a user with spring fruit ability, jumped in front of Dai after a few ups and downs, and shouted loudly to Dai. His eyes seemed to be full of pride. After all, Doflamingo is the only one of the 7 warlords of the sea who can own territory in the New World. This shows the powerful strength and means of Doflamingo. Then you can ask Doflamingo to call you now and stand up for you. Otherwise, you have to pay me the protection fee. Dai said lightly, and then lightly swiped his finger at Bellamy, and a sharp sword energy struck the hyena with unparalleled power. This extremely fast sword energy did not allow Bellamy, who had the ability of the spring fruit, to dodge in time, and a plume of blood bloomed directly in the air. The crew members of the Bellamy pirates all stared wide-eyed. They did not expect that the new 7 warlords of the sea would really not give Doflamingo face, and even directly injured their captain. Bellamy, a gangster pirate from the wealthy island of North Blue, notice, admires Doflamingo, the pride of North Blue. This admiration is no less than Bartolomeo's personal admiration for Straw Hat Luffy. In the original work, this guy also successfully landed on Sky Island, and took away a huge golden pillar and dedicated it to the Don Quixote family, just so that he could truly join the Don Quixote family. Bellamy, who was injured under Dai's attack, hurriedly bounced a few times before moving away from Dai, the new king, in fear. He looked at the new 7 warlords of the sea with fear on his face. Is this a devil fruit ability? He could actually launch such a terrifying flying slash with just a wave of his finger. Wait a minute. Lord Dai, don't kill our captain. We have Doflamingo boss's phone number. Seeing Dai still waving his finger at Bellamy, and remembering this terrifying sword energy, the blue-haired man rushed out anxiously holding a phone bug. Big Dagger Sarkis, the vice-captain of the Bellamy pirates, has a bounty of 38 million Baileys, and his weapon is a big dagger, the Kukri scimitar. Hearing Saki's words, Dai stopped. He narrowed his eyes slightly. He had wanted to trade with the underground intermediary Emperor Joker before, but Doflamingo felt that Dai, the new king, had no chance of surviving the encirclement and suppression of Golden Lion Shiki. Therefore, we ultimately failed to successfully establish a trading relationship. This also made Dai's idea of purchasing a large amount of seastone and devil fruit through this underground dark intermediary end in failure. Now that Dai has become 7 warlords of the sea and his strength has greatly improved, He should have enough capital to become Doflamingo's business partner. Speaking of which, Dai Dieto has become the 7 warlords of the sea for several days. Why do these underground dark emperors still not take the initiative to cooperate and communicate with the Big Daddy pirates? Do Doflamingo and these underground emperors still think that Dai, the new 7 warlords of the sea, cannot survive the hands of Golden Lion Shiki? If this is the case, are you not planning to discuss cooperation until Golden Lion Shiki is solved? Whether Dai can beat the Golden Lion Shiki has little to do with them. They just need to get money to ship the goods. It's not like Dai didn't give him money. Even if Dai was really killed later, the money and goods would have been cleared. What on earth were they thinking? Not doing any business is not the style of the underground Dark Emperor. Dai Duo took the phone bug that Sakis was holding and was dialing Doflamingo. Foo, kid, don't tell me you've been defeated? An evil and arrogant voice soon came from the phone. The tone was full of teasing and a bit oppressive. Doflamingo once told Bellamy that once Bellamy was defeated by other pirates, he would immediately take back the Don Quixote family's flag and eliminate these losers. In the original work, Doflamingo even made a side trip to Gaia Island during the gathering of the 7 warlords of the sea at the naval headquarters to teach the failed Bellamy a lesson. He used the string fruit ability to control the big dagger Sakis, and almost let this little brother kill the Captain Bellamy. Hearing Doflamingo's voice, the phone bug in his hand slowly deformed. I am Didi Babaya, you can call me Big Daddy or Babaya. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Dai jumped onto the top floor of a building. He smiled and said to the phone bug that turned into a pink feather cloak, and he had the idea of taking advantage. On the other side, the phone bug in Doflamingo's hand also turned into a person wearing a black cloak. Is it you? Big Daddy Babaya. Foo. I didn't expect you to move so fast, and you have already reached out to Gaia Island. Doflamingo's tone changed from joking to cold. Beating a dog depends on the owner. Although he doesn't care about little minions like Bellamy, he doesn't want Dai to die in vain. Your hyena said that you were protecting him. If you open your mouth, I won't be able to let the dog go. It was Dai's turn to a joking tone. He had the handle on Doflamingo. What if he used his identity as 7 warlords of the sea to expose the Dressrosa childlike fruit or the artificial devil fruit to the world government and Buddha Sengoku? I guess Doflamingo, the original celestial dragons, is also in big trouble. Even if there are a few celestial dragons covering Doflamingo, the explosive barrel of Dressrosa will definitely explode. Little devil, don't think that you can sit back and relax after becoming 7 warlords of the sea. No one will care if I kill you. Speaking of which, Sand Crocodile owes me a lot of money. Now that you have taken over his family and territory, are you going to pay me the money? Doflamingo was very dissatisfied with the newcomer Dai's attitude, and directly threatened him with murderous intent. He was just a rookie kid who probably tried his luck to kill the Sand Crocodile and then became the 7 warlords of the sea in a daze. This kind of thing that has never even entered the new world can be so powerful. He felt as if he had overestimated Sand Crocodile, the most senior 7 warlords of the sea. You are really arrogant. Doflamingo, you want to kill me and want my money. Believe it or not, I can make Dressrosa, which you have been running for more than 10 years, come to naught right away. Dai's tone also began to become cold, without any fear. Based on Doflamingo's threat, Dai would be sorry for himself unless he blackmailed him. Foo, kid. If you have the guts, come to Dressrosa. I'm going to see how you destroy my territory. The veins on Doflamingo's forehead popped out. This kid actually threatened him. He was so tired of living. Who is Dai, the new king? He can destroy the entire Big Daddy pirates by himself. Doflamingo, I don't need to go to Dressrosa, I can destroy you. I know all about those toys and artificial fruits. Do you want me to report it to Buddha Sengoku now, or break the news to Big News Morgans? Dai said with a joking smile. He did not believe that Doflamingo would be willing to abandon the base camp of Dressrosa. His island ship, the Guloside, is different. It can be moved anywhere, but Doflamingo's territory will definitely not be able to escape. What on earth do you know? Doflamingo said word by word through gritted teeth. How could Dai know that he was hiding so deeply? Even the Marine Vice Admiral Pursuer Maynard, after secretly entering Dressrosa to investigate, was discovered by the Don Quixote family and turned into a toy, completely disappearing from the world. As if feeling Doflamingo's cold murderous intent, Dai just chuckled, but did not force him too much. Before there is a huge conflict of interest, it is useless to fall out now. Instead, there will be an angry and unruly enemy. You don't have to worry about how I know, anyway, I already know about Geisa and the grape-eating girl. So now, you should calm down, correct your attitude, and try to please me, a big customer. I haven't been short of funds recently. You sold all the seastone products you got from Wanokuni to me, and I want the devil fruit too. However, I am also a person who respects rules. You, an underground dark intermediary, can get a commission of 10% of the transaction amount. Dai Dai said directly that if he hadn't been short of gold in the future, and at the same time he didn't want to completely fall out with Doflamingo, the underground intermediary emperor, so quickly, he might not even want to give 10% of the commission. Hearing Dai Dai's words, Doflamingo became even more certain that Dai Dai must know about Geisa, sugar, artificial devil fruit and the abilities of Tongchu fruit. This filled his heart with murderous intent and anger, but at the same time he was also very fearful. If Dai Dai really exposes these secrets of Dressrosa, he doesn't know if he can keep the headquarters of Dressrosa. If the World Government CP organization and Marine Admiral were to investigate, he would definitely not be able to keep these secrets. The key is that he and Kaido of the Beasts have signed a big deal for artificial devil fruit. If he fails to provide the Beasts pirates with batches of artificial devil fruit on time, he will suffer revenge from the four emperors Kaido. I can give you the unsold seastone, but the commission needs to be at least 30%. My subordinates also need a lot of money to support them. Doflamingo suppressed his anger and murderous intent, and said coldly that the manpower and material resources spent on transporting goods in the New World waters are not as simple as imagined. Even if there are no pirates to snatch it, it may still be caused by extreme storms and cause heavy losses, or even the entire army may be wiped out. As for Dai Dai wanting all the Seastone shares, this is simply wishful thinking. The majority of Seastone's business is with World Government and Marine. Now it is a good thing to be able to squeeze some of the shares from other customers for Dai Dui. How can this Seastone be enough? Then I can only give you a 20% commission, and you must get me some devil fruit. Of course Dai Dai cannot accept Doflamingo's conditions. Now he is the one who has the initiative and is not afraid of Doflamingo's threat at all. Doflamingo endured his anger and had no choice but to suffer this dumb loss. Not only did he not get back the balance of the sand crocodile's weapon this time, but he also had to pay a fortune. This filled his heart with murderous intent. The most important thing is that his current handle is still being held by Dai Duo, which is very dangerous. Blackmail is something that happens once, but it happens countless times. I must get rid of the scourge of Dai Dai. Otherwise, he will not be happy even when he eats. The artificial devil fruit planting base and weapons factory are both in Dressrosa, and even the material transfer station for various places is also here. It is difficult to abandon this business that has been in business for more than 10 years. Moreover, over the years, Sugar has used the childlike fruit to control so many people and turned them into toys. Unless all these toys are killed, if Dai Duo breaks it, they will be exposed or found out. But if they are all cleared out, his weapons factory will lose a lot of labor. If he didn't abandon the foundation of Dressrosa, he might always be threatened by Dai Dai. During this phone call, Doflamingo finally accepted several unequal cooperation conditions before ending the call with Dai Di. Just after covering up the phone bug, Doflamingo's conqueror's hockey went crazy in the palace on King's Heights. Countless threads flew around, cutting his room to pieces. Dai Dai. I will definitely kill you. At this moment, Doflamingo was full of murderous intent towards Dai Dai, and he would never allow such a threat to survive in the world. He had to find a way to destroy the Big Daddy pirates, and the most important thing was to kill them completely before Dai Dai could react. Dai Dai must not be allowed to expose Dressrosa's secret. If you want to quietly deal with the enemy, you can only arrange for the traitor to enter the Big Daddy pirates. This way, you can not only control Dai Dai's detailed location, but also wait for an opportunity to kill Dai Dai, whether it is poisoning or assassination. Dover. What's wrong? Diamante and Torbil rushed into Doflamingo's palace and saw the ruins of the room. They didn't know why Doflamingo suddenly lost his temper. Recall Monet and place her in the Big Daddy pirates. Doflamingo said coldly, his eyes full of murderous intent. Not only is Snow Girl Monet loyal, but she also has strong professional abilities as an undercover spy. Back then, she was also lurking around the Riku royal family as a maid, helping the Don Quixote family to quickly eliminate the Riku clan and master Dressrosa. Now Monet is arranging to be by Geisa's side as a secretary, monitoring and protecting Geisa. Now Doflamingo wants this Logia Snow fruit ability user to join the Big Daddy pirates openly. He believed that this guy Dai Dai would definitely not be able to refuse a strong and beautiful woman with the ability of Logia Devil Fruit. Is Dover going to take action against the Big Daddy Pirates? What does this newcomer brat have to be angry and concerned about? Diamante said with disdain, but after seeing Doflamingo's cold face, he immediately calmed down his expression. Don Quixote has developed into a huge organization over the years, and their top senior cadres have indeed grown a bit. Even if Dai Dai is the new 7 warlords of the sea, he cannot be respected by veteran pirates like them. He can make us irrecoverable. Doflamingo clenched his fists and said with murderous intent. The powerful momentum scared the two of them into not speaking. Doflamingo didn't want to offend these two useless cadres anymore, so he personally called Monet and asked her to come back from Punk Hazard. Get ready to complete this tough spy mission. And the other side. Dai Dai, who was on Gaia Island, had a smile on his face. He jumped back down and threw the phone bug to Lafitte, the foreign minister, and let him negotiate the rest. Doflamingo has given up on you losers. Dai Dai ruthlessly pronounced the fate of the Bellamy pirates. The flag of the Don Quixote family would no longer protect them. Master Dai Dai, wait. We pay the protection fee, don't kill us. Big Dagger Sage was so frightened that his pupils shrank suddenly. He didn't expect that even Doflamingo, a veteran 7 warlords of the sea, would give way to Dai Duo's hand. This was completely different from the result he imagined. The hyena Bellamy couldn't believe that they would be abandoned so ruthlessly. Besides, Doflamingo also asked me to clean you up. Dai Dai grinned. These two guys created an opportunity for Dai Dai to blackmail Doflamingo. Brother Ming probably wants to kill them himself now. How so? Bellamy was like a puppy that had been abandoned by its owner, filled with uneasiness and unconsciously moving back. Dai Dai has no intention of recruiting the Bellamy pirates. Under the powerful strength of the Big Daddy pirates, they cannot resist or escape. Soon, amidst the sounds of fighting and cries of fear, this spring fruit user was captured by the Big Daddy pirates. Pirates with devil fruit abilities will be locked up first and wait for a certain period of time. As for the other nameless pirates, they will be directly fed to Lily Carnation. In less than half a day, Demon Valley Town was completely suppressed by the Big Daddy pirates, and Gaia Island was officially included in the territory of the Big Daddy pirates. The Decepticon Susan flag of the Big Daddy pirates has also been planted all over the island. Except for the powerful forces and indigenous pirate residents who have been stationed on the island for development, only a few pirate groups have honestly paid the protection fee within the specified time and successfully stayed. Dai Dai quickly found Wenbulan Kulik, a guy who was familiar with upwelling currents, and was waiting for the huge upwelling currents. I spent a few days tidying up Gaia Island and arranging some things at the same time. Under the leadership of Beiji Kella, the Guluo Sayadi, the Ghostman agent, and Bentham temporarily left the waters of Gaia Island and hid. Desire, Nami, and the others took Thorn Girl, Umbrella Girl, and the others, drove the large diving raid sailboat White Iron King, and dived into the sea with the sea beast Moo Moo. Only one dreadnought battleship, the Saber, which had been refitted on Clockwork Island, and some elite crew members were left, waiting with Dai Dai for the huge upwelling current that washed up on Sky Island. This time Dai Dai entered Sky Island with only Zoro, Fan Oka, Poison Q, Lafitte, Badgers and other powerful crew members. To be honest, they are a little panicked now, except for the Devil Sheriff Lafitte who has the ability to fly. If the Sky Island that Dai Dai said did not exist, then they would be doomed. Captain, are those guys on Clockwork Island reliable? If this device doesn't work, we will be dead. Pirate Hunter Zoro also said a little nervously that if there was an accident on the 10,000-meter high Sky Island, they would go to the Pirate King Roger to discuss their ideals. Although it feels very unreliable, I can only trust the captain's decision. Shinigami Poison Q and Otonoko Van Oka said helplessly that logically speaking, they don't like to take such risks. But if Captain Dai Dai wants to do this, they can only believe that this is a choice of fate. Bless yourselves. Devil Sheriff Lafitte said with a joking smile on his pale face, if something really happened, he could only save Captain Dadier. Ha ha ha. You guys usually talk about fate every day, but now you don't believe the captain. Anyway, I believe the captain won't lie to us. Fighting Champion Badgers shouted carelessly, and the rough and crazy duo next to him, Sonic Ed Drago and Iron Bear, immediately echoed. The only woman approved by Dai Dai to board Sky Island this time was Nico Robin, who wanted to read the historical text. Nami, Desire and the others have to wait until Dai Dai conquers Sky Island before they can board Sky Island. Is it really okay? Everyone's lives are in your hands. Nico Robin asked Dai seriously. Although she had seen some rumors about Sky Island in the literature, it was still a legend that had not been confirmed after all. Am I going to trick all my crew members to death? Dai said calmly, and then watched the sea begin to surge. The crew members quickly began to find positions to fix themselves, and at the same time, they were ready to start the clockwork propulsion device. When Bran Kulik on the shore looked at the new 7 warlords of the sea in disbelief. He actually had the guts to ride on this huge upwelling current. If there wasn't Sky Island on it, they would really be ruined. What is it up there that attracts the 7 warlords of the sea? Is it really just for the golden capital of Shantora? Working hard for money does not fit the image of a strong man. Is the other half of Gaia Island really in the sky? In Wembrand Kulik's confusion, the dreadnought battleship Saber was suddenly swept up into the sky by a terrifying rising current. The pirates on the ship were suppressing themselves and did not shout out. The terrifying speed caused the mast to bend. Dai frowned slightly. This kind of adventure only belonged to the protagonist group, and he couldn't guarantee that they wouldn't have an accident. As the rising current reached its end, the pirate ship rushed into a white sea. Dai was ready to turn on the spring propulsion device at any time, ready for a second push into the air. As the dreadnought battleship Saber fell into the sea like white sea, Daikai truly breathed a sigh of relief, as if he could save his life next time by saving the propulsion device. After a while, they arrived at a gate, and the crew of the Big Daddy Pirates saw a little old woman guarding the gate. I'll give you this bag of soil to send us to the White Sea. Before the old woman could ask for a price, Dai threw a bag of dirt directly to the old woman. This scene made Nico Robin, Zoro, and Lafitte stunned for a moment. Captain Dai, are you serious? We don't read enough books, don't lie to me. Even if you hit him directly or break in violently, it's not that outrageous.